You get rid of the damn emojis. Hey, Daryl's here.
Daryl was number one.
Yep.
Nice.
Followed by Corey Mono.
Might have been his brother Daryl though. Got to find out which Daryl it was.
Morning all.
Dominic.
Hey, Dominic, how you
Good
doing?
evening.
I always got to think what time it is to say morning or evening to you.
Yeah, I'm good morning, but I'm saying good evening to you.
Yeah. So when you say good evening, I'll say good morning.
Yeah.
It works that way.
Yeah. What's
Well,
been happening?
Yeah.
it's been a hell of a day.
I'll let Paul start.
What's up?
Well, everybody was on here, and I says, "Well, I'll be back because I wanted to run out and get some peanuts because I'm running out of peanuts for the squirrels." So I go all the way across town over to get the peanuts, get up to the cashier, hand her my debit card, and it's canceled.
Hmm?
So I have to drive all the way back downtown to where Advia Credit Union is, and they look at it and says, "Oh yeah, well we see that there's been some stuff going on there, so they canceled the card. So we'll you if you just have a seat over there, we'll print a new card for you." So they printed a new card. So then I had to drive all the way back across town and get the peanuts that I had sitting out there waiting for me.
Yeah.
Drive back home.
Okay.
So then I
Well,
went and did
what's
a ship, and in the meantime, I decided, well, I'm going to get my four-wheel cart out, the one that's electrified. You scooter, you
yeah.
drive it. I got it out of the bedroom, wrestled it around the house, down the ramp, out to the garage. It's got a friggin' flat tire.
Yeah.
And I aired the tire up after a lot of pissing around.
Yeah.
It went flat again. So the tube must be bad.
Mm.
All right, here's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's not even the 13th.
Yeah.
No, it's not my eBay purchases. I'm not purchasing anything on eBay. Just stop me from getting my dose of peanuts from my buddies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because they're like family. Well, my PayPal's not my PayPal is the culprit, I think, for the because when she looked at my account in downtown, she says, "Oh well, I see $150 charge here just this morning." From she gave me the name, and I says, "No, that's not me."
Mm-hmm.
Did you use
So
PayPal for eBay?
yes,
I'm telling you, that's why I stopped shopping on eBay. That had happened to me with a credit card from another company. I got a bill for $300 and then $600 back to back within an hour. And I looked it up and I couldn't identify. So I called them up and said, okay, tell me what this is. And they said, Well, this was it was like Seattle, Washington. I said, well, I'm in Louisiana. They said, well, the first one's Seattle, Washington, the other one's Los Angeles. I said, okay. She goes, the first one was for alcohol. Second one was for some exotic cheeses and started naming the brands. And I said, well, let me explain to you again. I am in Louisiana, you know, and I don't have anything mail order coming in. They said, oh, we're sorry. Hold on a minute. Came back and said, we froze it. We froze your call. We'll send you another one out and we'll take that right off your bill. And then about a month later, the new card got hit and don't know why. And I used it. I had it attached to PayPal.
hmm
Yep.
So it got hit again. So I took it off of PayPal.
Let me look and see if PayPal still has my new card or not. I don't think they do. But it probably wouldn't hurt to check that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes they don't upgrade it.
Well, they never do. Had a guy come back and said, I said, you didn't look hard enough. Somebody's on Justin. He said, I didn't see one. And another guy commented, yeah, because there was no shark. I'm gonna say you didn't look hard enough
That's
either.
the
East Coast. Randy's there too. So Randy ought to be flying as a body too.
Yep. Brian, Randy, Dusty, Corey, W. Why did you pin Corey's message? Corey's asking.
I didn't, did I?
You did actually. Uh,
Oh, because he must have popped on while I was pinning it, the other.
mhm.
That's
That
fine.
happens.
Too many moving parts, Paul.
Yeah.
So I have a dilemma here. Went out with
What?
Johnny this morning and
Yeah.
we just kind of learned about it too, the two of us. And I was just flying mine around and I wasn't trying to get any footage to do anything, but I've got some good footage in there, right? So I went through and I put it all up on one timeline and I started going through it and what looks good, I kept. And I started clipping the stuff bad, just killing it, right? Or it was close. I was just flying around basically. Every once in a while, I got low to the ground. I found out the Avata 2 will go 6 inches off the ground at 36 miles an hour.
Hey.
Oh, that was pretty fast. So I've got that clip in there and stuff like this just to show it off, basically, to show what it does, the flips and different acro stuff. And just flying around, they had a couple of geese. We flew right by the geese with it. It never affected the geese. I put the Avata 1 up by the geese. They all took off. That was a difference in the sound. But I started clipping all of this video down because it was 18 minutes of footage, right? After I clipped everything down, I'm down to 12 minutes of footage. Now I got to start clipping again because I don't want it more than about 6 minutes max, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So about half of this is going to go. I might just get it down to 10 minutes and just put a 10-minute one out there and just leave it, you know? If anybody wants to watch it, they can watch it. They don't, they don't. But at least it'll be out there, you know?
Sorry, Corey. A bad finger slip.
Mm.
I'm gonna wait for Justin to get in because I want to tell him what happened to us out there today. I only want to do it. I will see if Lance or somebody else pops in too. Because I told Johnny, I said, "You do know I'm gonna talk about this."
What'd he say?
He said, "Yeah, me too. I'm gonna have to." It was funny. But I put that up, I sent you that little short with the duck. Timing it,
Yep,
that little
I
short
saw
with the
that.
duck. Yeah, Johnny walked over there, put it in acro, and I flipped it with the duck a couple of times, right? Johnny goes underneath and says, okay, I'm like, I hit it, do it. And he come up like he hit it. And we did that a couple of times. He said, boy, we look crazy out here, don't we? But that's not in that video. It's in the next two coming up.
Okay.
I got three different clips coming out, right? But then there was something
Thanks,
else that
David.
happened. Yeah, it was something else that happened that's gonna be kind of funny. David,
You see what
Yeah.
David put in the chat?
Yeah, I've just read it.
It's not Laura, but it must be maybe her mother or whoever they went to go see.
Family member. Okay.
yeah, I was sorry to hear that.
Mm. Is Justin?
But
What's up there,
What's up?
Justin?
not much.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, David. Give our thoughts and prayers to Laura when you talk to her.
Yes.
Allergies. What you up to, Dominic?
I've just pretty much woken up. Did a few things that I needed to do, and then yeah, got here.
What's up, everybody in the chat?
And Dominic's doing his Hugh Hefner road. Look at him.
Yeah. Yeah, because I get up, feed the cats, do a couple of things, and then get straight on here. I'm just too tired to have a shower. I'll do that later. Jim,
Jim, what's up? And Dominic gets up in the morning, walks over and checks the box to make sure all the girls drop the money off.
okay. Thanks, David.
And he's got them all numbered, so if he's missing a number, he's got to find out why.
Good
Keep
news,
track of
Jim.
them that
Good
way.
news.
Let me guess, you got
Oh,
his
that's
Nevada?
good too. No, it said his wife's operation went well today.
Mm,
Yeah. Hold on, I gotta pull the chat up.
that's
Yeah,
good
because that
news.
was awkward.
Mad Prop says Dom is a pimp.
We already know that. He's got like 8 beepers, 10 phones.
Jesus, peepers.
Yeah,
He's pimping
Hey,
from the
Tim.
1990s.
he got them girls on speed dial. What you talking about? Tim, what's up?
What's up?
Mr. Tim,
What's up, everybody? Tim,
driving and listening.
Randy, Waypoint, David. See Dusty. Who else is in here?
And
Corey.
So Randy, you got your body
Daryl,
too?
what's up? Yeah, he said something about having to go to the store. I think up there.
Mm.
Just read a second ago. Yeah, he said wife sent him to the store. He won't be able to test it out till tomorrow.
Mm.
You gotta have priorities, dude.
Well, I wonder if she knows that he bought a drone.
Gotta have priorities.
I don't know if you pretty in tune with each other. It's kind of hard to hide $1,200 missing out of the bank account.
Yeah. Fly more like 15.
Oh,
With tax and everything.
whatever. That's enough. 1,200's enough, let alone 15.
Yeah. I used to be able to hide cash when I got cash. That was about
Mhm.
all.
He might have to be running errands because he's in trouble.
Mm,
Could be it.
That'd be it.
yeah.
Yeah. Justin can say that because he understands that.
Yes.
He's
Oh.
been there and done that. He'll be on with us, and all of a sudden everything goes blank. And he said, "Got to go cook."
Well, you've been up since 3:30? Oh,
Mm.
no, he's gonna be tired later.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's nothing more boring than sitting in a fucking hospital all day, too.
Hey, Bill.
1856 Canadian for the Flymore kit.
It's about the same price here.
So that's about 11.99 here. I'm glad I live here.
Yeah.
Lance, how you doing?
Lance.
What's up, Lance?
Oh, you should see how expensive it was in the Netherlands.
Hmm.
It's like 2,500 or 3,000 there.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's all relative,
All relative to what the actual dollar.
what their economy is.
Yeah, well, their minimum wage is like $25 an hour, so
Yeah.
Mm.
that just goes to show you that ain't shit. That's like crap money there.
I'm just glad you weren't out there with me and Johnny today,
Oh,
Justin.
why?
Because you just
Why?
said bunch of old men.
Why? What were you guys doing?
Well, we were trying everything out. He was flying it and doing acro because he was having a problem getting acro, and he said you might have had it in sport mode. So I walked him through it and we did it. Then we got the screen, the Wi-Fi screen where he could look at it on the phone while I was flying. Got all that set up and it worked beautiful. Then we did the Air 3 with the RC2 through the goggles. That's amazing because you could use the remote, the sticks,
Uh-huh.
and the goggles. So you're looking at it through the goggles, and it's amazing because you're controlling it with the sticks.
Mm.
That is nice. And I'm supposed to be able to. They're saying you could do that with the Mavic 3 with those goggles, but you got to use a motion controller. He put the motion controller on it, and he told me he was not comfortable with the motion controller with it. Because of the difference in the drone. But he came back and you got to bind everything. You don't unbind anything, but you got to bind them to the goggles. So he was binding the Air 3 to the goggles, and I'm gonna talk about it, Johnny. I'm telling you. So
What would
I want to say it was a 50-50 fault thing. So he's got the drone up doing a hyperlapse, and we're sitting there talking and everything. He said, "I wonder how hard it's going to be to bind it back to the Avada back and all of
There's
this."
Mark.
And I said, "Well, it says it's not going to
Good
unbind,
evening.
right?"
hmm
Hey, Mark said it wasn't going to unbind. So what happened was we're sitting there, and he starts to bind the Avada back, and he says, "It's not binding." I said, "Well, it shouldn't unbind like this." He said, "Well, why am I getting this picture?" I said, "What?" And he shows me the goggles. He's got a picture of of the feel and everything, right? And I said, "Well, did the drone turn off? What's going on? I don't understand." So he goes over and he says, "That's why." He came over and he's doing everything else, and we left the drone up in the air.
Mhm.
So the Air 3 was just hovering out there. you know.
You got to play around with it. Get used to it, I guess,
Mm.
if you're gonna use it.
Yeah. But that was kind of fun.
Justin, was that price you said for Holland from Rules?
And not Roland. I was looking it up the other day. I can't remember how much it was. I think it was the Netherlands. I was looking up different prices on Amazon. I
wouldn't
think
have
it was
thought
the
it was that much.
I
Because,
can't
like,
remember which.
well, one of our pounds is $1.30 for you, isn't it?
Johnny.
One of our pounds is €1.17. So it should be cheaper than yours.
Yeah, it might have been another. I can't remember which country it was offhand. I think it was. Hold on.
Well, all of Europe
Netherlands
uses
are the euros.
euros.
Yeah.
So how do you land the drone with the motion controller? You just aim it
Same
towards the
thing, press
ground.
the orange
the
button and it
one
comes down.
Yeah.
You bring it down the way you want to and press the orange button, it'll drop.
Okay.
Then it just goes straight down.
Yeah, yeah.
Flops.
Under control, though, not drop.
Johnny says, I'm holding my duck up at you now.
Yeah,
take
it wasn't
it-
that. We were both distracted by that woman that always shows up with the two dogs
Oh,
and stalking Johnny.
I take it David's not on. He'll be crying in his tea. Preston got beat by Southampton 3-0.
No, no. Sounds great, Johnny.
Yeah, it was.
Mm.
We still couldn't figure out what that slide was. I was doing it, what didn't seem like it was doing anything. And Johnny was talking to, I think it was Marcus. And Marcus said that Kelly Shore thinks you put it on slide. And I heard somebody say that the slide made it drip a little bit.
Mm.
I heard that on one of them. But he said, but you could use the joystick and do all the regular functions, slide up and down and everything else. Like that. And it works the regular way, not the Acro way. Johnny, I gave him the thing that duck he said is used. He's printed. That's because I resized it, Johnny.
Joe, what do you call a group of monkeys that all share the same Amazon account?
What?
Primates.
Oh God.
Hmm. Have we
Uh.
stooped so low that we have to do dad jokes here?
Oh, what the hell is this? Fucking Corey, hold on, let me show you guys this. This is funnier than shit. What? Oh.
That's
Fucking Polaroid camera on top of an FPV drone.
fine. Yeah, like it would stay there.
Oh no.
He put the motion control, and he told me.
Oh my God.
That's hilarious. That's perfect.
That's good. Hey, Joe, one other thing that screwed my day up today. I don't know what you want to hear it.
Go ahead.
In the middle of all that mess, I get a call from my doctor's office. There's a prescription for me to be picked up at the local pharmacy. They say that I've still got the virus in my system.
Ah,
Oh God. More antibiotics. That's all.
Yeah,
yeah.
they changed it. They changed it.
Yeah, that sucks too. Maybe the virus is caused by those donuts, you know.
Donut virus.
Yeah, maybe
I don't think.
maybe it's the
Yeah, the
maybe it's the
donut
donuts
virus.
causing it.
It's not
The
eating
Boston
veggies.
creams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
eat some Vegemite. That'll get rid of it.
Oh yuck!
That'll
Get
kill
rid of your
anything.
teeth.
That'll kill me.
Yeah, Vegemite kills all known germs.
What's Vegemite doing there, Dominic?
I'll be back in a sec.
Okay.
Running around.
So anyway, Justin, how was your day? My day sucked big time.
It was all right. Still a little bit of cleaning.
Well, you know, I left, right? And I was
Mhm.
supposed to come right back. I go out to buy the peanuts because I wanted to shoot out there and shoot back. And it declined my debit card. So I go out in the parking lot and call, and they say, yeah, your debit card's been turned off because there is concern over hacking of your account. And so they says, well, you got to come and get a new one. So I had to drive all the way downtown, get a new debit card, which they just don't hand it to you. You got to go through the rigmarole. And I had to sit there in the lobby and wait for them to bring it out to me. And so then I had to drive all the way back across town to get the peanuts. And so I came, and then I got the call about the prescription. And then this afternoon, I had an hour or two left that I wasn't doing anything. So I went to get my little moped scooter out, you know,
Uh-huh.
the electric one. And I wrestled it around and got it out. And I got it as I'm going down the ramp. I look, it's got a flat tire.
Oh, Jesus.
The right rear is flat. What kind of a drone is that, Justin?
That's a Tella.
Oh, okay, Tello, huh?
I was playing around with it today.
So then I went out and tried to put air in it, and you know, it's got, you know, the thing sticks through the hub, and then you gotta take and try and put air in it.
Yeah,
And
the valve.
it pushes it in. It don't.
What?
Just a mess.
Do I? Yeah, I figured I'd run this thing a little bit today.
just in rejoining the drone community.
I was flying
Lance
it around
wants
the
to know
house.
if you have an iPhone or if you have Android.
Joe,
Joe, yep.
he has
Oh.
iPhone.
iPhone.
Here comes Rod.
I have a helper.
And Rod,
My kitty cat is sitting right here.
Ah,
Aren't you, Angel? Yeah. Kitty cat.
yep.
She's my cute one.
Kitty. Pretty little kitty.
She is.
my cat's outside somewhere.
The old Tony. No, I've not seen that. Dusty.
And where is she?
Hey, Joe, you saw my comment about your playground?
Yeah, it is. You were right. You're absolutely right.
She's
I
close.
literally fried a motor because the drone, I got low and the drone went down in the wood chips
Good
And
luck,
it's-
Lance.
and it sucked a wood chip into the prop and freaking fried the ESC. Fortunately, DJI covered that one under warranty instead of using my care refresh.
Yeah, that was good.
But so I'll just say be careful around the wood chips with the Avata
Okay.
because it can get jammed. I guess is probably the best way to put it.
Mm.
It's like
If it-
Spanish moss too.
Good luck, Lance.
Yeah, exactly. You could fry your motor kind of the same way. The playgrounds with the rubber, the playgrounds with the little stones, those are all fine.
Yeah.
The playgrounds with the wood chips, especially if it's got the bigger wood chips in the pile too.
Yeah, jump up there and
care-
get stuck.
Yeah, be careful, I guess is all I'll say. Be quick on cutting the motors.
So we
something
have to send
happens.
it back.
That one I sent back and got them to repair it under warranty, actually. Took longer. I would have had it back in like 3 days if I'd have used my care refresh.
Did you tell him that it was from that, or did you just say it stopped working?
I let them, I explained it to them.
Yeah.
I sent it back to them without props. So, no, I told them. I also told them I thought it was freaking warranty. Because that prop getting stuck shouldn't have burned it up. I didn't know.
Rod,
I didn't know exactly what it was. I thought it was the motor, and it turned out to be the ESC, so the board.
Was that the Avata one or the new
Yeah,
one?
the Avata one,
All right.
which is what I still have.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I'll race anybody. Sports mode. Sports mode. I don't care. You can have sticks or motion controller. Take your pick. But only in sports mode. Let's go race. Keep in mind, I've had that thing since it released. I bought it day of release. So a lot of people in the community are more camera people, and they kind of didn't really jump into it until later. So I probably have some of the most flight time of the community on the Avata. So that's part of it. It's just pure stick time.
let's get ready to rumble.
And I don't care what you do. I can outfly your ass with that motion controller. Go ahead, have your sticks. Give me my motion controller. I will outfly your ass.
Yep, looks like Corey has called you out.
Yeah. He did that. He did that yesterday. But Corey, it's got to be with a Avada, not with your freaking little PP race drone.
Yes.
Your race drone on like 10% throttle.
Oh, he cut out. He got too
No,
excited.
he's.
Thought it
Yeah,
was
I-
me.
to him.
Yeah, he got too excited.
Yeah.
Either that or Corey shut his computer down.
Yeah.
Throttle without really Avada. It's just fun. The challenge is just fun.
Not to mention the fact it's quite a long way from Florida to Canada.
Yeah.
So Avada to Avada sports mode. I'll race.
Randy said I'll smoke you. Oh, you're frozen, by
Yeah.
the way, Rod.
Yo.
So-
Yeah, I know.
Your
I was
video's
installing.
frozen.
I was installing the NVIDIA driver. I thought it did. It went black. I said, okay, fine. Let's do Express. Am I still frozen? Yeah, I guess I'm still frozen. I'll probably have to
Video's
come back.
frozen, but we can hear you.
Either that
Yeah,
or
I'll probably have
turn
to.
turn your camera off and turn it back on. So I've had that happen before. Yeah, nope. Now it's just all black.
Yep.
So much for NVIDIA. Oh, it says other
Yeah.
installations are running. Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
take it
Yeah.
you noticed, Paul, that when you got back, your stream was still running with nobody on it.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to go. I had to make a couple phone calls. I didn't know
And
how long you were
I
going to be.
didn't know how to turn it off. And I was
Oh,
the
you
only
would-
one.
Someone must have been host.
No, he was going to make me host before he left, but he never did. Everybody was co-host, so none of us could end it.
Mm,
Everybody had to start leaving to go do stuff. So
okay. I'll go back and watch it then.
Really wasn't worth watching.
Oh, okay.
It was
I might watch
mostly,
it.
I mean, I disappeared for about half an hour while I went and stripped my bedding off and put it in the laundry
Mm,
and started the dishwasher and made a cup of tea. And I came back and they were still arguing the toss over this protest lark.
oh, if it's
I
arguing.
got all you with my Air 2S. Or my Air 2. Not if they put that thing in manual, you're not Dusty.
Yeah.
Because that Vada will do 60 in manual.
Say that Avada 2 this morning, I was maybe 8 inches off the ground going 36.
I'll be right back in, guys. I'm just going outside a second.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to send up one of them FPV drones, I have a chance.
So you upped your game into sports mode today, Joe.
Yeah, I did it in sports today. I wanted to see how it would go, and I got it down low, like I said. And that sucker was running.
Mm.
Okay, Randy.
Actually, I think, doesn't the first FPV drone, I think it maxes out at 99, doesn't it?
Supposed to, yeah. In manual.
Yeah.
I think it does 60 in sports mode.
Well, I got that 18 minutes down to 5 minutes. Down right at 5:51. I can live with that.
$5.51 what? Flight time.
Yeah, I had three flights or 2 flights that I just put everything together with, and we flew around a lot,
What?
and it came out to about 18 minutes of footage. So I just
Oh,
stuck
you
it all
mean-
out there.
You've edited
went
it
through
down to 5 minutes.
Okay,
we had
no worries,
we had
David.
a lot of junk in there, because we were flipping the drone and doing stuff and just standing there with it. And then
Mm.
I started cutting everything off, and I just did flights and just some good footage come out to right at about 5:51 with everything.
Mm.
So I'll leave that on there. They can click through what they want. If
Yeah,
they don't want
Dusty,
to watch it, don't watch it.
Dusty, go
Mhm.
watch some of them older videos on YouTube. back in the day when those guys were getting them FPZs up to like 200-300 miles an hour. Fucking ridiculous. They have one that's been on YouTube for a while, quite a few years, and it's they clocked it at 300 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was like 305 or something. It was right over 300.
I had mine to 101 with a
And
little
that thing,
with a little tailwind. 101.
and that
Not
thing
much
was,
of one, but a little.
Yeah, because you're supposed to not go over 100, aren't you?
99.9 is the limit. Yep.
yeah.
Mm.
Unless you're a
And-
big corporate.
I
Well,
didn't
can you-
realize I hit
Oh, man.
101 until I looked at the goggles video.
Mhm.
Can you get a waiver to go faster than that for certain events and stuff, or no?
I have
Um,
no idea.
Joe-
I presume you can get a waiver
Red Bull
for
must
anything.
have.
Because I want to say, isn't NASCAR and all them starting to employ FPV?
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, Formula One did.
They would
Red
have
Bull
to
had
be
it up
able
to
to.
350 kilometers.
Yeah, they'd have to go faster than
What,
100.
220? About
Uh,
215, 220,
Well,
350
three-
kilometers.
318 is 200.
Keep in
Okay,
mind,
so
the
it must have
drone's
been about
not trying to
220
keep
for the
up with
Red
them
Bull.
per se.
when they did their FPV, where they followed a Formula One car.
No, not
No,
three.
they're not necessarily try to keep up with them, but if they're going to stay right
Three-
behind them,
320.2 would
they'd have to be a
320.2 would be
Yeah, it'd be
200.
200. Yeah,
I mean, to
it
keep up with
would have
them.
been 220 then.
So then another 30.
They were doing 350, staying up with the Red
200
Bull F1.
Yeah.
I
So
would
it'd be about
imagine there's a waiver for that.
19, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny, the Vada 2 did ducking really well. That was a nice short from Joe.
which one? The duck?
The duck.
Yeah, I got two more shorts of the duck with on the Avada, one with Johnny. That comes out every day. I got it coming out at noon.
You shrunk Johnny down and stuck him on top of your Avada.
Yeah,
What was it? He calling it Howard. That was it, wasn't it? Howard the Duck.
Yeah, Howard the
yeah.
Duck.
it's plucked up. Now I'm impressed. I put a piece of Velcro on the top of that drone, and I'm going 6 inches off the ground at 36 miles an hour with that duck on the drone, and it stayed on it. Never came off.
Strong piece of Velcro.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it may be a permanent fixture when I'm flying the Avada too.
I wonder if it'd stay on if you hit the pause button.
Well, it hit the pause button when it hit return to home. It stops automatic. It just kind of freezes.
The question is,
It-
will it stay on when he goes through the park bench?
No, not the way I've been flying it. Wait till you see me flipping the Avada 2 with my hand. Yeah. Yeah, that's the
State-
third one. He's underneath it and he's like he's gonna hit it. And as he pushes up, I flip it.
Oh,
We did
got
that a
it.
couple of times.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah, it looked good.
I've always said what they needed to do was put a second speed in for sports mode that you could pick.
Yeah. Like a turbo mode.
Autel has that for their ludicrous mode.
Yeah.
You have 34 mile an hour, which is the default on ludicrous, and you could set it to 43, I think, for the top end speed
I
on
think
the
you should
Evo
be
2
able-
Pro.
I think the Avada, you should be able to unlock it. You should be able to have full speed, even not being a manual. That should be your choice to go that quick.
Yeah, it's about 60 mile an hour, give or take.
So I'm
Yeah.
saying have a little slider bar where you can set your speed, you know,
Mhm.
but let you choose how fast you want to do it.
Yeah, like
It's
you
not-
can do camera drones now.
Because
You
not
can set-
everybody wants to go manual, you know. If you're afraid to go manual, you're never actually going to get the full potential of that thing,
Mm.
at least speed wise.
And I'll be honest, if you want to fly manual, fly a real FPV drone.
Mhm.
End of story.
Again, I will not be peer pressured. I'm not, I don't wanna, I don't
No,
wanna,
no,
I don't
no,
wanna fly
no.
man.
No, I'm with you, Joe. The just motion controller, fast and low, and that thing is a blast. That's all you need.
Yeah,
Literally all you need. But if you actually really do want to do manual mode, get a real manual mode drone.
yeah, I had fun flying it today fast, you know, 'cause it
Mhm.
was,
It's what I was trying to teach TJ with his. I kept telling TJ, you got to put that thing in sports mode and go balls to the wall as fast as you can and as low as you can so that you get used to seeing things fly by your face in the goggles that fast. Because when you get to a real FPV drone and you're doing
Yep.
80, 90 mile an hour, that's what it fucking looks like. So you just got to get used to it. Don't be putzing around with it. Unless you're just on an easy mode day, cruising around. Okay. Cruise around. No problem.
So who's going to be helping TJ get through his Part 107 course?
Probably Maddie, because Maddie has it. I got the course, haven't done the study stuff yet. The one thing I'm actually not worried about is the maps part.
Hmm.
Well,
20
TJ
years,
has
20 years in the 20 years in the army in the field artillery, staring at what? Military maps.
Yeah.
I think I can handle maps.
TJ's already said though he's not good at taking tests. That's his biggest concern about doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
TJ's problem with taking the test is TJ convincing himself that he could actually take the test. Just the fact that
He
he
can do
says
it.
that means he'll have a rough time with it.
It's not,
TJ
the reason I say it's,
distracted a bit easily.
I said, the reason I say it's not that hard is you got the book in there with you.
Mm.
You don't get a score of what?
70.
Man.
Yeah, I've never had an issue taking tests.
And how many tests?
And how many
are there?
questions are pilot in charge is the
Mm.
answer. Yeah, I mean, you probably get 50% just off of those questions.
Yeah.
You're right.
So
How many questions are there altogether?
probably depends.
I can't remember.
I think there are 60.
I was the
Might
one
be.
foreigner on the panel had to know it.
60, so that's 1 2/3.
I still think their whole bullshit of Facebook, YouTube, all that crap is just crap. They need to keep their fucking nose out of it. That's way, way an overreach on their part.
What are you talking about?
That you're supposedly supposed to have your 107 because you of furtherance of business, Google's business.
Yeah.
If I'm not monetized, what the fuck is it their business that I'm posting?
And here's Matt.
Yeah, the thing is
Both
that
at the same time.
I didn't agree
Hey,
to
what's
Jack, I'm all
monetize my
charged up from
channel.
this morning. Let's go. Who wants to be up next?
That's
Yeah.
right.
No,
Let's
I'm just
go.
saying that I don't think that if I
So
didn't
it was-
agree,
60
monetize-
questions, you've got to get 42 of them right.
Yeah.
here here's a good question for you, or thing,
What you
Drake.
got, Hot Rod?
As
You
if-
mad at YouTube for something?
What's that?
You mad at YouTube for something?
No.
Well, here's a statement, Dre, and you can tell me if you disagree with me. But if you choose to not monetize your channel and Google does it anyway, shouldn't Google be responsible for that, not you?
Well, let's go
Like-
back to the very basic beginning. Do you pay a service to Google or YouTube or whoever?
No.
So you
No.
have no contract agreement upon who, what, where, and why. So
Hmm.
you're subject to their terms and their conditions. Just like with Facebook, just like with
Yep.
TikTok. Everybody gets excited and upset when they do something, but realize you signed up to agree to their terms and conditions. You're not paying for a service. So if they want to do what they want to do, you're subject to that part of it.
Well,
And-
they
Yeah,
can
but in
put
this
ad-
case, this isn't theirs. It's the FAA. And that
No,
whole
is it-
further,
they can
and that whole
put ad-
furtherance of a business to post on social media crap.
Right.
Yeah.
That,
Well,
that,
they
that
can
was
put the
that's been
adverts in
since
there, but
Part
they don't have
107
to
was
pay you
established.
for
That's
it.
always
They'll
been there.
let you monetize.
So they're just going by what they already had established before it became a thing on social media.
Now, is that the FAA going after just regular drone channels that are?
I don't think
monetized?
they're going
No.
after people. They don't have enough
Okay.
manpower to chase that crap.
No, it's 9 times out of 10, it's going to be when somebody points it out and brings it to their attention, and then they go look at your content. And like in Matt's case, they say, "What rubbish? We're not going to waste our time."
Hey, and here's the other part of it. If you do
There
like
it is.
if you do like most people and it's just video with music in it, they can't prove it was you.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
utterly it's utterly wasted their time to try to even do anything because they can't prove anything.
Yeah. So
Well, I'll
that's
tell you
why that's
something,
what we tell
Dre.
folks: if you're going to do what you know is unlawful or illegal behavior, don't post it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the best thing right there. Don't post it.
Like
Or
the
keep it private.
like the idiot from Canada
Yeah,
the
for
dive in
sure.
the Washington Monument.
So,
Oh,
so
what were you
Dre,
gonna say?
what you're saying, Dre, is that
Well-
if they see Matty's, they're gonna offer him money?
No, I'll tell you
Sam?
something, Dre. All of my fines are on the cutting room floor.
There you go. There you go.
That's where they are, mate.
And that's the smart
No.
place to leave them.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
And that's why
Might look at one of my
I can't feel sorry for people who get caught up in that kind of stuff, because we all sit there and all know the same thing. I said, why did you post this in the first place? And then you had to go back to
Yeah.
that part that you were trying to, get clicks and views because you want to be monetized, or you already are monetized. So you want to increase your own revenue. So right there, you put yourself in that furthest of a business position.
Pretty
Right.
sure Dre asks that every time Matt posts a video. What the hell is this crap? Right?
Hey, I don't get mad at the cone, man.
Looks like black and white, mate. Black and white. He hasn't even graded it. Yeah, no, it's look, I fly to the rules, especially when it comes to flying over people and close to people and all that sort of stuff. The only one that I really sort of bend the rules on, around about a 90-degree angle to the law, is line of sight. Many times my drone's fucking, I don't know where it is. Well, I know where it is, but I can't
Yeah,
see it.
you have a reference of where it's at, and if somebody asks you, you can say, "Okay, it's there at 11 o'clock.
It's over there.
So
11 o'clock high. That's where my drone is at."
It's exactly right, mate. Exactly
There
right.
you go.
Yeah.
You know, I just got
Yeah,
off on one of the Facebook groups, and the guy was, once again,
Where
I
the
hear all this misinformation, and we might have a discussion here about it, where this guy was telling somebody about being harassing and how it was a federal law. And I said, once again, we have misinformation. They should pass out degrees in it. And I told the guy, and I even gave him the section 49 USC 46405. It talks about aircraft crews in an aircraft. If you threaten, intimidate, all this kind of stuff, you're in violation of a federal law. It does not specifically talk about drone operations. And this guy talking about, well, they call us pilots and stuff. It extends to us. I said, no. And I said, the one reason why it does it because where do we fly at? Public spaces. We don't get a plastic bubble to come around us when we're flying to keep us away from everybody. So if you're in a public space,
Yes,
you can't
right.
tell somebody, they can't come up to you and ask you, what are you doing? Because you're in a public space. There is no expectation of privacy.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
been the ruling
yeah.
for a long time with like
Right.
Tell that
video
to
on
Matt.
phones and that crap, right?
Tell that to
Right.
Matt's neighbor.
But like I said, you hear people say all the time that, oh, you can't talk to me while I'm flying out in the open. I said, why can't they? You're in a public space.
Pretty sure a phone over a fence isn't practice.
Now you can be cordial and say, hey, if you want to talk to me, let me bring my drone back and land it. We can have a conversation. But you cannot claim harassment just because somebody comes up to you and asks you questions. You know, I told the guy gets a little, you have a Karen or a Ken, or in most cases, a Matt comes up and says, I'm going to kick your tail, you know, blah, blah. And then you say, okay, now you're talking about your local and state statute laws of threatening, you know, we call it terrorist threats.
Mm-hmm.
That's not an FAA guideline. That's your local and state statutes. And that's what they get
It's not a
charged
threat,
with.
Drake.
You know, one of them I find interesting, Jerry, is the whole visual line of sight stuff and the flyover people. And the example that I like to throw out to people is this. If your drone is 200 feet away from you, like me, I'm at the beach, right?
Mhm.
If I'm looking up at the drone, right, to keep visual line of sight on it,
Right.
how the hell do I know if that thing is over top of somebody on the beach or not?
That's just
You have more awareness looking at the screen
yes,
of where the hell that drone is versus that thing's up there in the air.
right. And I
It's a
can say,
story.
and that's when people talk about being, we talk about this more about the literal letter of the law and the spirit of the law.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Don't be
Yeah.
overzealous and do something purposely and stuff, and then try to be as cautious as possible. Like a lot of times we can't control traffic. When I started across the road, wasn't no cars coming. And all of a sudden, here comes this guy doing 80 miles per hour, and he flies under my drone.
Yeah, but they kind of gave us that with the whole transit, right? If you're going from point A to point B and they happen to go under you, you're okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. People, as a letter of the law and the literal intent of the law, I say, now you transcend A to B and you're crossing where you live at, about Florida, and you're crossing the 95.
Mm,
Come on now. We know you're going to fly over some cars.
mm.
So it has to be, that's why I use that word about sparse traffic or sparse areas.
Sure.
That's why that language is in there. It says, okay, you can do this in a sparsely populated area where there's a less likelihood that you're going to fly over traffic, less likelihood you're flying over people or whatever else. But if you're out there in I-95, what do you expect?
Oh, you
No,
guarantee that
I
over.
will tell you there are gaps. I have done it, and there are
Yeah.
gaps.
Well,
You
I'm
go
not
to the
saying it's
middle.
impossible.
You go to the middle of the highway. You get across
Uh-huh.
one side, and then wait for the gap to come the other way, and then go across when the next gap comes along.
Right.
You can
Right.
do it.
Yeah, I mean, I say it's not
only way-
impossible, but like I say, then you look at what's the risk factor goes up significantly when you know you're in congested areas.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
No, I'm
Yeah,
with you.
that's all it is. It's like say when we fly, there's always going to be a certain amount of risk. I mean, when Matt flies, there's 100% risk he's going to crash or something. I don't know.
That's because I fly with the sticks, not program it, mate. Anyway.
And that's right, bud. As long as I get paid, we all good. but bring that up, Matt. Now, see, same thing here. You talking about visual line of sight. Now, a lot of times I fly in controlled airspace with autonomous programs. Now, you talk about keeping an eye on your aircraft, but I'm also mainly keeping an eye out on other manned aircraft in my area, because it's going to take me twice as long to take that off the autonomous mode to gain control of that aircraft to bring it back down or alter it wherever it is, because that main aircraft is coming across my area. So like I
Yeah,
said, I
yep.
can't watch my drone and watch all these other guys out here who may not have ADS-B in their private little single props or whatever, or a helicopter comes in and they might fly right in my area.
I'm waiting to hear the report from that one here in Daytona.
Right.
That
classic
helicopter
example.
with the drone. Because there are so many things with that, you know, and the FAA is like, well, the drone guys got to get out of the way. What if there's a lot of freaking noise? Hello, he was a quarter of a mile from the airport. If a jet was taking off over there, he'd have never heard that helicopter.
Right. And
No
the same
chance in
thing,
no chance in hell that guy could have got out of the way.
and like you said, and the same thing, if he was over doing a mission, 9 times out of 10, he had an autonomous flight, he
Mhm.
would have to disengage it, be able to gain control to bring it down. And by then, boom.
He
Daryl.
was probably doing waypoint because they were building the building and he was
Yeah.
filming it. But the other part of that, Dre, that really makes me scratch my head is the tower could have seen where that guy was. That location is that close.
Well,
So why
that's
did
what
the
I'm saying.
tower route the helicopter through that area? If the guy had done his paperwork and said, hey, I got a drone up in this area, why the hell did they ATC not tell the guy in the helicopter, hello, you know, there's a drone over here around that area, or route the helicopter freaking around that area, knowing that the guy was there?
Okay, two
Seems to be a
things that I
hole in the
know. I have a
process.
couple COAs that I have that instruct me to call the tower when I'm airborne, when I start and when I finish.
Mhm.
So that if they have aircraft taking off and they want to make a turn, they will say, hey, blah, blah, so and so, be advised there are small UASs in the area at this location. So they would divert their flight takeoff patterns, whatever. We don't know all if that occurred with this guy, if he contacted the tower.
Like I said, that's why I'm curious what's going to come out of this, because one would think, as close he is to the airport, one, it took all the spatial paperwork to even get up in the air at that spot anyway. So if it took all of that, so why
I can fly on the airport.
But why did the tower? Why did the tower not know that the drone was there if he had to fill out all that paperwork? It
Right. A lot of
basically
questions
says
to
I'm
be
flying
asked.
from
I
here.
mean, we can go down and listen. Did the tower inform the pilot of that going on? Did he call the tower and let them know he was in the air? Which probably is
Right, yeah.
going. And then third, did that helicopter, was it equipped with ADS-B to pick up a signal? Is that drone had remote ID activated at the time?
I doubt it had ADS-B. Most of the helicopters don't.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a number of things that come into question. Who, what, where, and why all this occurred, and they'll get down to it. And
It's going to be interesting with
I don't think
the
it's
whole
going to be 100% on the drone pilot's fault. It's going to be a series of failures on a lot of people's parts.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. What will their recommendations be, and what will they do to try to fill the holes in? Because it's certainly not 100% the drone guy's fault, even though the way the rules are written right now probably is.
We don't know what he did prior to, and that's all part of your checklist. Like I said, I have on 2 locations I fly monthly, out by Ontario and Chino Airport, and then my own home airport here in San Bernardino. It states in my COA that I need to, they even put the phone number down there for me to call the tower prior to takeoff, let them know where I'm at and who I am, and then I'm supposed to call them back when I'm done.
Wow, Michael.
Yeah, they
So the
treat you like
airspace will
any
be
other.
clear.
They treat you like any other plane, essentially.
Right. They treat my other plane, so the airspace will be clear. That's part of my authorization at those areas that I fly in, and I fly there every month at these locations. So it's a routine for me. They know who I am, and I call them and say, okay. So if something happens, it'll be a failure of communications between A, B, C, D, and E.
Sure.
Because I done my part by notifying them. So technically, I'm in the clear, even though FAA says I have to give the airspace to a manned aircraft, but I've done my part. Doesn't mean I have the right to stay 100%.
Right.
But if a crash occurs, I say, hey, I saw the plane coming. I started going through my procedures to, take control of it, and I couldn't get control of it fast enough. Boom, we have an incident. Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm curious what recommendations will come out of this and what holes the FAA sees in the process.
Yeah, now the real problem is going to occur is places that are untowered. That's when you have private little airports out there that are untowered, and there is no communication to get anybody. And what happens, I think those guys, matter of fact, at the Florida meetup said they had an issue flying somewhere where there was geo-locked. They said they all got LANS approval, and it goes back to I tell folks, I said sometimes the initial airspace that you think you're in may not be the only airspace that you're in. It could you can have a situation like I had. We have overlapping airspace.
Overlapping, yeah.
Overlapping airspace from one to another, and DGI whatever, you might get a LANS for one area, but then DGI says no, you can't take off here, and you got to submit one approval to DGI to get it unlocked. Because I guess they had Lauren was down there, and it took him overnight to figure out how to get it cleared, so they flew the next day.
So it's that way for me at Ponce Inlet Lighthouse, because that lighthouse, if you go across the bay, there's an airport there. So the length is 50 feet, and I can get length approval, no big deal. But DGI will not fucking let me take off in that spot.
Yeah, Matt, we see you. Make sure you don't get hit by any big lorries over there in your cone suit.
But in order to get my DJI drone off the ground, I actually have to go to their FlySafe website and do the unlock there.
Right. That's it. And like you said, where you're talking about is probably because whatever I always call it the bow tie, it's the old term for it. You're probably within a certain amount of proximity of that bow tie, where aircrafts are taking off or coming in, and they're going to make a turn left or right, wherever they're going, and you're probably within close proximity to that. If you got LANS approval and DJI won't let it go, that's probably why.
Yeah, well, I know where the airplane's not going. So the altitude limit is 50 feet. The lighthouse is 176 feet. So I know where the plane is not going.
Right.
It'll have a bigger problem than my little drone being in the air around that thing.
Yeah.
So, but that's just a case of the whole federal government. It's weird. Those circles are just like standard circles. They seem to just like lay down without doing surveys of the buildings and crap around the place to go, okay, this is not realistic because, well, we have a 200-foot lighthouse right here.
Well, the real big thing is, everybody wished that the DGI, which is the main one, and the FAA would get on the same page with their systems. Like you said, you get link approval for a certain amount, and then DGI, you got a geo-lock.
Yeah, they turned it off in Europe, so the guess is that they're eventually going to turn it off here.
I wonder if that will ever come to the States, like they did over in Europe. They take away all the geo zones except for right next to airports. They still have it for the airports, but
prisons.
Yeah, airports and prisons. I think it is.
What they've done is they've created new maps where they actually follow the perimeter of the property and make so that it is 3 or 5 miles or whatever it is from the perimeter of the property rather than a central point.
Yeah.
So they're not circles anymore here. They're all weird shapes.
Yeah, that one with the altitude that I always wonder about is freaking San Diego. That one damn parking lot off the end of the runway. I really wonder what the hell they tell the pilots the altitude is that they have to stay above to not hit that parking lot.
I was able to encourage Al Diaz to submit his, and I kind of told him what to put in it, and he got approval right smack in the middle of San Diego International, North Island, and I think what the other one there. He's right in the middle of it. And he's got a LANC approval up to about, I think, 200 or 300 feet. I said it's not impossible, but you do got to make sure you put the right information in there. And then he in turn, I said, once you get it from the FAA, you got to send it to DJI, and then when you turn your controller on, you turn your phone as a hotspot on, and it will send it to your controller and then import it to the drone, and you're golden.
Yeah, so for the lighthouse, I did the LANC approval, and then I took
Mhm.
that approval and submitted that to DJI
Right.
to get the unlock to actually unlock the drone. But
Mm.
you kind of have to know that area to know that you're gonna have to do that.
Right. That's why I always care. I try to remember. I always take my laptop with me out in the field, but just in case, because I take different drones, and I think, did I get the unlock for this drone or the other drone?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
an issue because it's not even really the drone; it's the controller, right?
Yeah. Well, I still have the older ones like the Mavic 2 Pro, where you can import it to the drone itself.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. So that's always the issue too. You got to remind yourself, okay, which drone did I do this with at home? And I brought the other drone here because I was coming from other places, and voila. So I end up being able to do it in the field because, as all my authorizations, I always keep it on a Google Drive so I can access it no matter where I'm at. And that way I can download it to that laptop, submit to DJI, says, hey, here it is, boom, boom. It takes less than 5 minutes. It's approved.
Yeah, I think the closest encounter I had with an airplane was actually his fucking fault. I'll tell you that. It wouldn't have been me because if he'd have gotten any closer to me,
Mhm.
well, he'd have hit the buildings. I was
Yeah.
in New Smyrna at the beach, and I was literally between two apartment complexes, about 150 feet out. So I wasn't even over the top of those two buildings. And I see this damn Cessna flying along the beach, and the next thing I know, he's turning and he's coming at me.
Wow.
And I'm like, holy fuck. So obviously I started like dropping altitude and shit to try to make sure that, but he probably came within 300-400 feet of me, but that also means he came within about 300-400 feet of those freaking apartment buildings. I
Yeah.
literally do not know why the hell he was that low, where had he lost his fucking engine, he never would have got over the buildings.
Wow.
Mm.
Now, I know out here in California, they always got those Cessnas flying a little advertisements off the
Oh
back.
yeah.
Tail thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? That scares me more than anything else because you might,
Those guys are low.
avoid the plane and you get caught by this, 80-foot long billboard flying behind it.
Yep. Yep, we have that here. Yep, we have it. I have to watch out for it. But that was a case where, I knew I was fine because I'm literally sitting between two apartment buildings, but I'm
Yeah.
staring at this guy coming at me literally at the same altitude going, dude, you need to turn. Dude, you need to freaking I get what he was doing. He probably had some people on board. He was trying to show them the beach and crap, but it's like, why
Yeah.
didn't he turn oceanside to go back the other direction and then come back over by the shore instead of literally turning at the buildings?
Yeah.
The
They
dude
probably had a
was
guy
not.
obviously going, that's our apartments. Can we fly over it?
Yeah. Hey, Joe, what were you and Johnny getting into earlier today? You hear me, Joe?
What'd you
What were
say?
you and Johnny getting into earlier today?
Trouble.
Well, I know that.
Yeah, we were getting into trouble. We were out at Coquille Park. It's a big, like 100-acre park. And we were doing easy acro stuff, and he was trying to make sure he understood it. We were doing different things with the Avata. And then he changed the goggles and bound them to the Air 3. So he could
Okay.
fly with the RC2 and the goggles. That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
really
because
awesome.
I saw a little bit of that part before I had to leave out, and he said something about the screen on the controller went black, but you could see
Yeah.
something in the controllers a little bit, but that's why I had to leave. I didn't catch the rest of it.
Yeah, they've changed it from
Yeah.
what they did with the goggles to an Integra. They never supported the RCs with those, but you could use it by simply launching the drone and then turning the goggles on. So that you could still fly with the RC and not have to use the motion controller. So apparently in this version, They support flying with the RC. It's just that they turn the screen off because you have the goggles turned on. One of the things, Joe, that I was thinking about when I saw that was you should have put one of those whoever was flying, you should have put those goggles in broadcast mode, and then put your
We did that.
So could you audience him while he was flying the Air
Well, I
3?
was flying and I did the Wi-Fi and he could watch me on his phone.
No, not
You're talking about
not
when he was flying?
which is great with the Wi-Fi. That's great. So apparently, if you do the Wi-Fi, then anybody with the app can probably look. That's probably safer. The problem is in a bright environment, they might not be able to see their screen. No, you can put the goggles into audience mode so that they can put the goggles on and see what's in your goggles.
Okay.
So whoever is flying,
Yeah, I didn't think about that. We should have tried that.
if you go under transmission, you can turn broadcast on.
Mm.
And if you turn broadcast on, then whoever has the other goggles that supports that version of whatever air unit you're flying can go into transmission and go into audience mode and actually find you and connect to your stream so that they can ride along in the goggles.
Yeah.
But that's cool with the Wi-Fi mode though. But that just gives me all the more reason to keep taking my triple take.
Yep.
Bigger screen. What I always wanted to do was hook my Autel Live Deck. You know those trucks that have the sort of screens on the side of them for advertising? Hook my Live Deck to one of those and use that. Go, hey dude, can you come over here and park? Everybody can watch while I fly.
Yeah, then he was saying it was so much of the binding and unbinding. And I was saying, maybe because with the old goggles, the Integra goggles, you have to, if you bind the motion controller and then you fly with the sticks, you got to rebind the sticks, then you got to rebind the motion controller.
Yes.
With the new goggles, you don't have to, they stay bound. They will stay bound. And so maybe you don't have to worry about it may stay like that.
Yeah, because
And,
you're not
so-
swapping controllers this time, so the controller should be okay.
So we did swap controllers because he was using the RC2. Then he's going to go back to the Avata with the motion controller, right? So
Okay.
he says, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So he had put the Air 3 up and he was doing a hyperlapse and the hyperlapse was finished and he's putting it up and he says, well, I can't get it to work. Why am I getting this picture? I said, what picture? And he showed it to me. He said, look at it. It was a picture of the park, right? And I said, well, did you cut the drone off? Well, I don't know. I understand. So he walked over there because we both were talking about it the whole time and we just lost train of thought what we were doing.
Mhm.
And he comes back and he says, no, look up. I looked up, the Air 3 was still out there hovering and it was giving him the video feed to the goggles. And he was getting ready to unbind that one and bind the other one to it. So he had to bring it down. It was funny. I said, Johnny, I'm gonna talk about it.
That's an interesting test. I wonder if it would have let him do it. It shouldn't, because it's in
It
the
wouldn't
air
let him do it.
flying.
He couldn't get out of it. As soon as he changed and brought it down, everything it was easy. And then he was he said, well, how do I do the motion controller? And he tried to bind it, it wouldn't bind. I said, check and see if it's already bound. And he did it, and the motion controller did. It was already bound. I said, motion control is not bound to the aircraft anymore. It's bound to the goggles.
Oh, good point.
That's
With
what I
the new one.
remembered.
With the new one, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh, I did the
But that-
Mavic 3 Pro with the goggles. I liked flying that way.
well, I
It's
tell
still
you
not
what,
a
I had him on while he was flying, and I was looking at the goggles while he was flying it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know what? That is that is nice.
It is.
As long as you
It's
can
super
use the
nice.
controller, not the motion controller, the controller with it, I would be
Yeah.
happy. But if it works with the Mavic 3, I know the RC Pro won't work with the goggles. So
Uh,
I'm back to
there-
motion controller.
there's a workaround for that, and there has been.
That's what you were telling me.
Launch the drone, use your RC Pro, launch the drone, put it in the air, then turn the goggles on. And you'll get the view and be able to control the drone with the RC.
Well, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna definitely try it.
That works fine. I've done it.
Because when I was doing that little search and rescue the other day, I would have much preferred be using the sticks and the goggles. I'd had a better view.
Mm-hmm. 100%. You're
I
like
would've
me.
seen
You live in the South, and the
Yeah.
sun is freaking bright, and sometimes
Well, I would have
it's not-
seen. I was in the shade under my hatchback, and I didn't see the beach ball or the a couple of things I saw out there until afterwards. There was a beach ball. There was a soccer ball. There was all kind of crap out there in the marsh.
You'll always see better with the goggles. I don't care how bright the screen is on the controller.
And I don't even have my goggles set all the way up. I've got it set on 5 instead of 6. And it's bright enough for me. But all in all, we had a fun day. It was pretty good.
So it sounds like we don't really need the broadcast audience mode anymore. Just use the Wi-Fi broadcast. What would be nice is if you could do that Wi-Fi and another set of goggles could connect to the Wi-Fi. But that's programmed but it's programmed into the app, so.
Yep.
Well, Mr. Murray, you missed a great debate this morning.
Yeah.
It was extensive.
And then some.
And what was the debate?
Oh, we
Donuts
don't
with
even-
holes or donuts without holes?
Protesters.
It went along pretty much that similar type of logic.
Gotcha.
The protesters on the
that.
Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh yeah.
And what the definition of a protest is.
Well, it only takes one grenade, but then you got collateral damage. So
Yeah.
Well,
I'm in favor of the
Having-
non-lethal sound things that we have.
I not wanting to bring up anything, but in terms of a protest here, we've had protests over the last 2 days. Now, what I see is if you block or inconvenience someone, it's not a protest. So
What is it then?
from my point of view, if you block and inconvenience traffic, especially, and that's what they did Monday our time,
Mhm.
it seems to me that the people protesting lose all
credibility.
credibility
Well,
if you stand out the front of Parliament, because we've got steps of Parliament here. If you stand there and you wave flags or do whatever, go right ahead, knock yourself out. You can do
Right.
whatever you want. You can protest whatever you want. Just don't inconvenience traffic. Is all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah,
I
thinking
said-
about it, the word then becomes obstruction.
Yes,
Yep.
you go from protesting to obstruction.
mhm.
Good morning,
As I said,
Steve. Good evening.
If you
Good
want to
afternoon.
protest, go right ahead. Do what you want.
Yeah.
If you want to protest the price of eggs, or you want to protest that donuts don't have holes in them, go right ahead. Just don't obstruct me, because I
I
won't
want
be
to protest the Canadian geese.
Yeah,
I was
go
gonna say-
right
I was
ahead.
gonna say
And
Canadian
seagulls.
bacon.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, they're a bunch of. You talking about trees of dicks? Wow.
Well, it's like we were talking the other day, the pelicans, right? Because the pelicans are just freaking gigantic.
Yeah,
Mm.
they had about 20 Canadian geese out there by us today, and I flew the Avata over towards them, and they were sitting right on the side of the like little service road by the pond. And I was going towards them and I saw them, and John said, "You got a whole bunch of geese over there." So yeah, I'm not going to go too close. And I kind of turned, and they kind of just kind of did their little strut looking at me, and I came back the other way, and they did their little strut looking at me like big deal, right? So I put the Avata one up and went over there, and as I got the Avata one over there, they all took off. The difference in the sound, they left.
Hmm.
So then they went and got in the pond and left us alone. But those Canadian geese, so they got them here, where you'll all of a sudden you start hearing them, and they come flying through the complex. Because right over at the hospital, they got a big pond out here, and that's
Right.
where they got nests and everything. Like
Right.
springtime right now, and this is the best part, Drake. This is the best part. You coming into the road right there, right? It's off of an interstate, and they walking across. So everybody's got to stop. Everybody stops, and it might be 40 geese walking across the road, and they're like, and all the little ones walking with them. You sit there for 5 minutes watching them walk by. Sometimes 10. I sat there 10 minutes one time.
Yeah.
You toot the horn, and they
Come
stop
on,
and
you
look
little
at you, and they don't
bastards,
move.
you can fly.
Yeah, but if you toot the horn, they stop. They won't move. Like they look at you like bitch. You know.
That's what those sandhill cranes do here because they know they're protected.
You know, the funny story about the Sandhill cranes, because I got some in my neighborhood, and you would think if they got annoyed with the drone that, well, they got wings, they just take off and fly away, right? No,
Yeah.
the ones in my neighborhood, no, they don't fly away. They just start running. They're like little road runners running around. It's like, dudes, you got wings. How come you're not flying? What are you doing walking? You don't like this sound.
Yeah,
So
wait till
weird.
wait till they can see your reflection in the car and they beat the shit out of one of your doors. Seen that happen a couple of times in the Walmart parking lot.
That's funny.
They think that there's another sandhill crane that they don't know.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
they will beat the living shit out of your car thinking that there's another one standing there.
Yeah, well, mine tried to eat through my pool, the screen on my pool cage. They were poking holes. I don't know what the hell they thought they were going to go after.
Well,
but
well, Rod, I got one question. How do they taste?
I don't know because I didn't do that to them. But how I got rid of them was actually rather bloody interesting.
Sean actually hunts those up in Idaho, and they literally call them the ribeye of the sky. They're a red meat, and they look like ribeyes when you cut them up. And he said they taste just like steak.
So
The geese?
anyways, Joe, I actually used a super soaker, and I shot them with the super soaker. They never came back after that. They did not, for whatever reason, for things that goes out and hunts in the water and fishes in the water. They didn't like getting wet from the squirt gun, and they never came back after I shot them with the squirt gun.
Fine.
Yeah, Sean showed me some pictures of the meat when he cut it up. It look like fucking steak.
Yeah, I think
You
he
would have
showed
thought
it
it was from. Yeah, you would have thought it was from a cow. And he said it does.
Wow.
He said it will taste like steak.
But that was
Just
kind of funniest thing ever. You never would have thought a bird would be so repelled by a freaking little squirt gun.
Keep that in mind if you're craving steak one night and the store's out of it.
No, I'd rather have gator.
Yeah, but they got bigger teeth.
True. But they taste like chicken.
Everything
Well,
tastes like chicken.
I've not had alligator. I've had crocodile.
Yes, I've had crocodile.
Yeah. And ostrich, and I've had kangaroo as well.
Well, crocodile tastes like crocodile.
I've had emu instead of ostrich. I had emu instead, but similar. I would
Yeah,
say.
they have farms of those in the US.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all over Southern California. There's a bunch of them out in the desert. Ostrich farms.
Just like an overgrown turkey.
Mm. Not as gamey though.
Mm.
An interesting taste though. Interesting taste.
Probably safe for me to go fly now. I was flying my Avata around, went over by my neighbors, and the lens got wet because the sprinkler system was on.
I'm gonna go out to Pelican Park with the Avata 1 and fly around that pond, and it's got enough gap in the fountain that I'm gonna go in between it.
It'll
I'm thinking
probably
I
be
can do
fine.
it.
Just go fast. It'll be fine.
I think that look cool. You got a pickleball court in the background, and then it's like a green water that matches the pickleball court. And it's just the way they've got it set up. It looks really like they got these big fountains in the middle. And I'm going around real close to the fountains. But then I looked at it later and I said, you know what? If you cut down and but just come down and cut into it, you cut right back out of it because it's wide enough, about that wide. You know?
There you go, Dre. That's what the sandhill crane looks like.
Mm.
They said a
fuck.
crane.
Delicious.
Yeah, this is what the sandhill crane meat looks like. Looks just
Wow.
like steak.
That sure does look like steak.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ribeye of the sky.
Right. Great texture.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Texture look like steak to me.
Yeah, the Sean said it's really good because they're not protected in Idaho. They're protected in Florida. You get in trouble, you kill one of those.
So it's not good for them to go visit their cousins.
Oh, oh, they walk with a strut like they know they're protected in Florida. They don't give a fuck. They'll stand there and stare at you in the road like, bitch, hit.
Yeah, I know. They do that in my neighborhood.
They do it all the time. They'll just take sweet ass time going across the highway.
Well, you print that out, Justin, and flash that picture on them every time. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Put it in the
On his
front yard.
office, he ran out in front of me.
I just put it in the
No,
front
just
yard
take
as
it.
an
Just,
example.
just take a Avata with you. They'll run away real quick.
I don't want it to run away. I want to run it into my garage so I can taste it. I want to see what it tastes like. We gotta get it in there without the neighbors seeing. And they have this big ass claw on their feet that looks exactly like the raptor claw from the movie Jurassic Park.
Wow.
And Sean showed me he's got a whole collection of them, but they're about that long. And he said something. He goes, some of them will get aggressive if you get close to them.
Mm-hmm.
And he said they'll claw the living shit out of you. You got to be careful.
Right.
Because I've had some that literally would sit there and stare at me, and I'm like 10 feet from them walking, and they'd sit there and stare at me. I don't know if they're going to attack me or not, but they just sit there. They don't run. They just sit there and look at you. Just evil little eyes.
They sizing you up, Justin.
Y'all wring his neck like I did my dad's goose in the front yard. That bitch
Yeah,
bit
They're
me
looking
in the
at
ass.
you like
They're
looking
probably
at you like,
saying,
bring
hey,
it.
4 of us, we can take them.
My dad had
Bring
some.
it.
My dad had some geese in his front yard one time, or for years he had them out in his front yard where his lake was, and one of them came up behind me one day and bit me in the ass. I grabbed that son of a bitch and threw it. I said, "Do it again."
Oh man.
That's funny.
If anybody's interested in the new Bob Marley movie, because I know Tim was, it's on Paramount Plus now.
Oh, Dune 2 came out today on Prime.
Wasn't that on Netflix too?
No,
Or am I
no,
thinking of
no.
a different
The
movie?
regular Dune was on next to the first one, but number 2, part 2 came out today on Prime.
Hold on, I had it.
Hey, Justin,
Yeah,
are you good? Are you good while I go catch a ship real quick?
yeah.
No, Paul, you got to stay there this time. You've been taking off a little too much lately.
This time though, I'm gonna make you host, Justin.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a better way.
Yeah.
Speaking of going flying, I think I'm going flying. His
Oh, I was
sprinklers,
thinking-
his sprinklers, got to be off by now.
I was thinking of Rebel Moon. That was the other one I was watching.
Yeah, Rebel Moon comes on the 19th.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. I
Yeah.
was about to say, because I remember marking it on, I like to go in the what's coming up list, and then you can
Yeah.
set reminders in there. So it'll remind you when they come out.
Yeah. Yeah, it comes out the 19th. I thought it came out last week also, and I'm like, man, ain't nothing to watch. I don't watch everything.
Yeah, I was feeling that the other day. I spent an hour looking through fucking movies and stuff. I actually watched that movie on Netflix last night, The Impossible. It was about the 2004 tsunami, about the family that survived.
Mm,
All three boys and the wife and husband all survived, but they were like right in the path of it. All of them got swept away.
mm.
But it was a pretty good movie, though. It was kind of sad, but it was a good movie.
I was
Here comes
watching
Amber.
something the other day with Russell Crowe in it. I'm trying, what was the name of it? It was a low budget, but it was a pretty decent movie about, Russell Crowe was this Air Force captain, which you never think he was in the military. They're in some base in Nevada, flying a regular drone across the world, and they had a special ops team go in and try to do a quick recovery of a CIA agent and stuff. I can't think of the name of it, but Badland. Badland, that's what it was called.
That sounds like it could be good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was-
Andrew.
What's up, Joe? You enjoying the warm weather, Joe?
No. It's freaking hot today.
What's
What-
warm?
What is it?
What's
90 something?
warm? We were 85.
We're going down to 1 degree centigrade tonight.
Thursday we could hit 88.
No,
We're usually the high is about
Well-
73.
Just watch out for that traveling back in time.
yeah,
What, falling backwards, Mark?
I was
it's
on back
88,
to
it's
50.
88 miles
88 miles an
not
hour.
88 degrees.
Oh, right. The DeLorean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very, very hot today.
I watched that
This was
movie
like-
too. Oh god.
It was like 70 when I left here and I had long pants on. Then it got to about 85 while we were out there.
What movie was that, Justin?
Mortal Engines on Netflix.
I seen it a long time ago. It was kind of, I don't know, offbeat, too much offbeat for me.
Yeah,
The traveling cities.
it was weird, but I kind of sat and watched the whole thing. I kind of couldn't turn away from it. I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell is this? 'Cause I wanted to see what happened.
That was actually that was decent.
I mean, it wasn't bad. I
It
wasn't bored
I
watching
didn't
it.
care for it.
I mean, I wasn't bored watching it, but it was.
it
I mean, it wasn't
wasn't-
the best movie, but
It wasn't really good, and it was not horrible. It was far from horrible.
well, that's what I'm saying. I was able to sit and watch it and actually
S-
be into it.
Steve Carpenter, you roasting in California?
Well, it's nice out here today.
Probably depends on where you're at in California.
Yeah.
Well, I've just had a look and it's 3 degrees centigrade here at the moment.
We've got 11 here.
82 right now.
There's
Oh,
nothing
here,
on.
here it is, Justin. It's called Land of the Bad. That's what it's called.
Land of the Bed.
Yeah, Land of the Bad.
Oh, that's the one where half of the people at the beginning look like TJ.
Speaking of TJ, no one's seen TJ in a few days.
He was
Yeah,
on
it was-
It
this
was on.
morning or
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah. He was on the panel this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, Land of the Bad. You might have something to watch. It's a good. hour and a half movie.
What is that on?
I want to say it's on Netflix,
I just looked it up. I
but
didn't
I
see
just
it on
watched
there.
it last week.
I watched it on Netflix.
Yeah, it's got Liam Hemsworth, Russell Crowe,
Does it
and
bad.
Luke
It's
Hemsworth.
where they come into London, isn't it?
No,
Isn't it?
these guys. It's basically Russell Crowe's a
It's a
Air Force
CIA.
captain that flies the big Predator drones, and he's Overwatch for a special ops team.
I don't see it on Netflix. Let me
Oh,
check.
This came out this year, 2024, Land of the
is it
Bad.
the one where they behead that bloke's wife in front of him?
Yeah. Yep.
That's the one.
It's not on Paramount.
Unless is it a regional thing where
Try
only
Prime,
like
Justin.
markets
If it,
there?
ain't, if it went on Netflix, try Prime.
Okay.
I haven't got Prime, so it would
Well,
have been
you
Netflix.
have the unauthorized box.
Yeah, but I wasn't
Yeah.
watching it either. I don't think.
I don't have Prime either, but I can find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it definitely has to be Prime then because it's not on Netflix, Peacock, or Paramount.
Yeah, I thought I saw it on Netflix. It could have been Prime. You know.
Oh, I might have watched it on the IPTV then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Netflix is like picking up all these damn movies from Asia though. Not really into them.
And India.
It's like I say, if they could come out with some way of making the movies where the actual mouths line up with the people that are doing the voiceovers and make it not seem like it's a voiceover, make it more natural, I wouldn't mind watching them. I just can't watch a movie where it sounds like a voiceover and none of the lips match up. That shit is so
They're
annoying.
like Monkey Magic back in the day.
Oh, that was brilliant.
The voices, the
Monkey Fish and Pig.
overdubs, not anywhere near what the lips were saying.
Mm.
You can buy it
Monkey
for
Fish
like
and Pig.
you can
Yeah.
buy it for $6. You can rent it for $6 or buy it for 10 on Amazon.
I can get it for free. I got sites I can go find it on. The Irishman, that was a fucking. Yeah, I can't believe Netflix spent that much money on that damn movie. And to be honest with you, it wasn't even really all that good. You know, they spent the budget for that movie ended up being like $500 million or something stupid. The one with Joe Pesci and all them, they all got back together, make another mob movie.
Mm.
It wasn't even good. Nothing like their shit they did back in the 90s.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna go ahead and tap out since Andrew's here. He can take over from my spot.
Okay.
Land of
Good day.
Land
Later.
of Bad was made by Paramount,
night.
so
It's not on there. They already checked.
I know, but it was made by Paramount, which is odd.
Yeah, but Paramount will put things out on other platforms to make money off of it, and
Yeah,
eventually they'll release it on their own platform.
that makes sense.
The only 3 apps that I have that I pay for is 4 of them. I have Paramount, Netflix, Peacock, and Disney. So I don't pay for any other ones.
I like
What's that?
Peacock. Peacock's pretty good. At
Very good.
times, I find more on Peacock than I do on Netflix. Is Paul flying another ship?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like Disney. Probably nothing good on there either. They totally fucked up Star Wars shit.
Rigger.
Now I have to shit they're releasing for Star Wars, a bunch of animated bullshit
Yeah.
for little kids.
Well, I finished off watching Halo Nightfall this afternoon.
Halo Nightfall, what the hell's that? A new one?
Another series, yeah,
Is it animated or is it regular?
real.
Halo Nightfall, what? Oh, gotta find this.
Yeah,
Wait,
I think
another-
that's on Prime. It's on Amazon. It's an Amazon or Freevee, one or the other.
Don't know.
But Freevee is free, so
It was on my IPTV, so it was free anyway.
Halo Nightfall.
And then I started watching Discovery.
Yeah. It's improved, I must say.
I
The
know
fourth season was just rubbish.
I'm starting from season 1 with the Klingons.
Yeah. Season 1 was good. Season 2 was all right. Season 3, they were going downhill. Season 4 was utter rubbish. And season 5 has improved. So we're back to about how good they were in season 2.
Oh, was Halo Nightfall a movie or TV show?
It's a series. I think they were like half-hour episodes.
if anyone is interested, Skinwalker Ranch comes back on in like 2 weeks
Mm.
on History Channel.
Oh, because there's a movie Halo Nightfall that's an hour and 36 minutes long.
I think that started it, and then there was a series after it.
Mm.
Because come to think of it, at the end of the first episode, there was a hell of a long credit list. So, yeah, it could have been a TV movie and then followed by so many episodes.
Which website did you say had it, Andrew?
I think it's on Amazon or Freevee.
No. Freevee. Do you have a link for that? You put in the chat? Let's check that one out because my one site that I used to use isn't working really anymore. I just haven't found any other good sites to go to yet.
Oh, if you have Amazon Prime, you can get Freevee for free.
Oh, you have to pay for it? Freevee?
If you have Amazon Prime already, you can get it for free.
I don't have Amazon Prime. I'll find it somewhere else then. The only thing I can find is a fucking movie. Can't find nothing about a series.
I think it's the movie that Mark's talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't find nothing about a series. It keeps bringing up. Hold on. Let me see here.
Steve Carpenter, what are you up to?
It definitely went into a series because each episode started telling you what the last
All right.
episode was about.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm just.
They don't do that in a movie.
Mark, you
Yeah.
mean previously on Halo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dominic kills Dr. Hazley. How does Master Chief get on from this?
Hmm.
He's not in it.
But something like that.
Mm.
I could ask Corey. Is Corey in the chat still? Yes, he could probably get it on his
Corey.
Plex sub.
You still in the chat?
He could probably pull it up on his Plex server.
Oh,
I could
Good
watch it on
afternoon,
there.
Corey.
Pretty sure he was in there earlier.
Yeah, it was earlier.
Yeah, because he put a link up for Joe to watch.
Hmm.
Yeah, Matt Props, that's a very nice temperature to be.
Yeah, it would be. We're in the 60s at the moment.
If you don't mind me asking, Steve, how long is that supposed to take, the harbor construction? It's funny how quickly your pool filter cartridges get so filthy.
it happens when you don't take a bath.
Don't have that problem. You
You
need a
have?
pool. You need a pool to have that problem.
Yeah, I have one in the backyard.
When I worked for Side Motor Freight Lines, I worked night and loaded trucks, and they had carbon black, the stuff they use to make carbon paper, and they had bags of it. And when you come home at night, you're covered in it because you're gonna get a truck with carbon black on it eventually during the night. So I used to come home and go next door to my cousin's house and jump in his pool and swim in his pool. Because that was the fastest way to get the stuff off of you, came off of you better. So I'd swim in his pool. I'd get off. I worked 6 at night to 6 in the morning, 12-hour shift. So I'd come back and jump in the pool, and he's gone already. And my cousin Carol didn't care, and he pulled the filter out. He pulled the filter out and looked at it, and said, "What the hell is going on with my pool? It's black, you know." Where is this coming from? Then he found out I was jumping in the pool, and he said, "No, go take a bath first." But I used to get it off of me, so I didn't. Because if I went home and took a bath, it'd be all over the tub, and you couldn't get it off the tub. It just stick to the tub.
What if you just hose it off? What if you took a hose? Would it just rinse off?
No, like I said, it didn't want to rinse off of me. You know,
Oh,
I had to be in the water for about 10 minutes for it to be pliable enough to where it started coming off.
oh, so
And
it's chlorine.
then it would just then you could just do this and it come right off of you.
Chlorine pool.
Yeah, I was smart. I knew he after about a month. I told him, I said, well, I'm working outside. I got to get the carbon black off of me. Started laughing. He said, just go ahead. It's not hurting anything.
Was he upset when he realized it was you?
No, he started laughing about it when he told me, he said, go take a bath first. And I said, you know how hard it is to get off the tub, right? And he used to work for him. He says, yeah, go ahead. You're right. Because if you take a bath with it right afterwards, the soap will get it off. But then it sticks to it seems like when it comes off of you, it finds something else to stick to, and it's the porcelain on the tub. And then to get that off, you got to get Comet or something to scrub it off your tub. So you taking a bath, then you giving the tub a bath, you know? I mean, it's bad. They no longer have it. They no longer ship carbon black because they don't use it anymore.
That's a good
it's
thing.
like, oh, Bob, I'm wondering I'm wondering how many, like asbestos. I wish they'd come out and say carbon black causes problems with your lungs, because I've got a couple of spots at the bottom of my lung that are completely missing. It's like dead. It's all dead lungs. And I've
could
never
that-
smoked, you know?
Could that be from Camp Lejeune?
Has nothing to do with the water. So everything else, a couple other things I have had the stuff with the water. You know,
Oh,
so it's
Joe,
like-
I actually saw a fucking meme on Facebook yesterday, and it said Chuck Norris only drinks water from Lejeune. And showed him
That's
fucking drinking his.
funny.
I was like, man, as soon as I saw it,
That's
I had
about
to
the
go
best
back-
one I've heard.
I had to
Mm,
go
yeah.
back and see if it was you that posted it. I was like, wait a minute, was that Joe? And it was some random
Yeah,
person.
no,
I was
I
laughing
wish
my
I'd have
ass
thought
off.
of it.
Or was it Mark?
No, it was some random person I ran across with it showed him sucking a sipper cup full of fucking water. It's Chuck Norris only drinks from Lejeune. I was like, oh my god.
That is funny.
Well, I know Dominic has, but have any of you actually heard of or seen a program called Only Fools and Horses?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
To check it
No.
out, man. It's one of the great comedies.
What's the Peckham Springs episode?
The name of that fucking site, I can't remember the name of it.
Is it a particular comedian? Set of comedians?
It's the main two characters in it are David Jason.
Yep.
And Nicholas Lyndhurst,
Mm.
who played
Sir
Del
David I think it's Sir
Del Boy
David
and
Jason
Rodney.
now, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
He was
probably.
knighted.
Mm.
Those two are great comedians.
Wouldn't one of them be John Cleese from
No,
He's not in that.
Spamalot?
no, that's
No,
Faulty Towers.
he hasn't really done many other comedies from Monty Python, Faulty Towers. He was in A Fish Called Wanda, but he hasn't really done much else.
What about Steve Fry?
Did,
Stephen Fry.
He did a film
Stephen Fry
called
was
The
in
Plank.
Blackadder.
Stephen Fry hosts QI's quiz series, and he
Yeah.
actually and now hosts our oh shit, what's it called?
He did a
The
he
what's
did
it?
he
Jeopardy.
did a
So,
he did a documentary a few years ago where he drove around in a
Drove a taxi.
London cab.
Yeah.
Drove around the US in a London cab.
Yeah.
It's gotta
so I
be
know Hugh Laurie and Steve Fry did several
a bit of Fry and
comedy
Laurie,
skits.
Well, they were a comedy partnership. Yeah.
Yeah. Then they did Blackadder. Then Stephen Fry went on to his own stuff, and Hugh Laurie was the lead character in House.
House.
Oh yeah. He's also I think a jazz musician.
Yeah.
There's a few songs in House that are Hugh Laurie playing the music and singing.
Yeah.
But there, as I said, there are many and varied English comedians that you can bring up and say that are really good. And some of them are just more stand-up style rather than doing panel shows or sitcoms.
True. And
There's
David,
probably a few that are like, nah, they're okay.
David Jason's been in a lot of things. He appeared in Porridge,
Yeah.
although
Then
As a
Then
young
open all
man,
hours.
you played an old bloke, yet then open
Yeah.
all hours, and then still open all hours.
Still open all hours where he takes the shop over.
Yep. He was also Pa Larkin in The Darling Buds of May.
Yep. Yep. Another great one. Still, he's probably most remembered as Del Boy, though.
But yeah, definitely.
It's probably his most seminal work.
Yeah.
Trying to think of other.
I
Where's
think that was. I think
where's
that was.
David?
I think that
He's
was.
busy with an issue.
Wasn't Doughboy? Wasn't that Ice Cube's name in Boys in the Hood?
DEL, Del Boy, not Doughboy.
Yeah. Del is just, it's short for Derek.
Yeah. Yeah. The comedies these days are pretty tough, as I see it. Really hard to make a good comedy these days.
So Dominic, I was playing around with the Tello earlier,
Yeah.
and one of the props wasn't on all the way, and I did a flip with it, and the fucking prop
Oh.
went flying across the living room. Took me like 30 minutes to find the fucking thing.
Did it hurt anybody, or did it?
No,
I
it just landed on the big like footstool thing in the living room. But the fucking prop went flying off because it wasn't snapped down all the way on it.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't knock over any vases or anything, right?
No, it just flipped and threw the prop, and then it just landed.
Mm.
Were
It
you
just
flying it with a controller or with your phone?
No, it's my phone.
Justin always has his phone.
It's actually very responsive with the phone. It's actually not that bad flying with the phone.
Hmm.
But it does like a barrel roll each way, and it does it will put a box on the screen, and then you can just swipe your finger which direction you want it to flip. It'll go forward, backwards, and side to side.
Uh-huh.
And then it has an option too, when you go to take off, you can just throw it in the air and it just starts up and hovers.
All right, yeah. Yeah, I've seen people say that, yeah.
That's a pretty fun little drone to fly around.
Mm.
It's a good little drone if you want something inside. Got a decent camera on it. And it actually has I did an update on it today, which I didn't even realize they were still doing for it.
Oh no.
And it actually has iOS or iOS settings in it.
Oh, good.
You can actually adjust it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they'd come out with a new version of that by now, because that's been a
Nah.
few years.
Tello. I'm waiting for the Tello too.
They did well. It was a co-op between them and Pentium. Pentium actually has one of their processors in it, so it actually has a Pentium processor inside of it. So it wasn't just DJI; it was a co-op between the two companies. And then just they never did anything after that.
Because they couldn't get more to sell.
I don't know. I knew a bunch of people that had them. I knew a bunch of people that had 2 or 3 of them because they were really cheap back in the day. For it was like $140, and you could get the Flymore kit. It came with 3 batteries, charger, and you could get the one. Yeah, you get the one with the controller, or you could just buy the drone with 1 battery for $100. But for what you get in that package, you're not going to find a drone in that price range that flies as good, does tricks, and has a 720p camera on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they need to upgrade it to a 1080p. Give it
And
all
it's got,
resistance.
and it has decent video stabilization for what it is too. It doesn't take bad video. I mean, it's a little jello-y, but for what it is, it's a good little camera. Matt
5
tried to
megapixel.
Do what?
5 megapixel.
Yeah, Matt put it through, Uncle Bill sent Matt a file with some footage and Matt put it through DaVinci and played around with it just to see if he could get rid of the
Look who
jello-ness,
decided to join us.
but it didn't,
It's who?
he couldn't really do a whole lot with it.
Steve,
There's one for sale on eBay for £55.
That's not
There you
bad
go.
because you can still buy them on Amazon new and they're pretty pricey on Amazon right now.
Hmm.
The Flymore kit I think is 179 on Amazon.
yeah, 179 is what you're saying.
Oh, Steve.
Steve, what's up?
Gentlemen,
But
good afternoon,
Good
good evening,
evening.
good morning.
Well,
Drone,
Summers.
drone
Go ahead, Joe.
controller and carry case, £60.
oh, that's not a bad price because the controller by itself's like 30, 40 bucks.
Yeah.
That's not a bad
Yeah.
price at all.
You were
Look,
saying,
Johnny.
Joe?
No, he said gentlemen. I said some of us.
So this is stage 1 of their construction, Steve?
Well, it's a couple of different phases. One, there's actually 2 main phases. One is waterside, the
Well, they're-
marina. They're replacing all the docks in the harbor.
Mhm.
So everything that you see on both sides of my shoulders here, everything is being replaced. The whole entire harbor, the marina, the docks are all being replaced. That's one phase. That's already
So what
started.
the hell are they gonna do with
They
all those ships?
Just
Wes?
started on the ground side.
Jody?
Yep, Jody. What are they gonna do with all those ships while they're doing that?
Yep,
Or are they just
Jody.
gonna do a little piece at a time?
They're moving them around.
Oh, so they're just gonna do like one section at a time?
You know,
They do a section if you see the bridge above my head there,
Uh-huh,
yeah, right up there.
yeah.
They've already done this side, almost all that side on that side of the marina, and then the first part from the bridge coming this way. So they got to do the next phase is all the way over my shoulder and over to here.
Okay, I gotcha.
so are they overdue to be doing this?
But they what? I'm sorry.
Overdue to redo the docks?
Well, yeah, they're 50. What are we looking at?
Yeah, 50 something years
53
old.
years
Yeah.
old. You can
Yeah,
walk
I
down
guess a
some of
couple
the
days.
docks, especially on this side. And if you don't have we have fingers on both sides of a boat, so we're not like just one side access. So you got fingers on both sides. You can be walking down the finger, and you'll be going like this as you're walking down it.
Been there. Or down a little bit because the tide's low.
Well, it varies. It varies.
Or you'll be rocking if it's
Well,
wavy.
that doesn't have anything to do with the tide being low. That's just because there's no the floats are not properly underneath it now. Now it's flying the area over where they're doing construction and they're moving stuff around for the what we call the day use motor parking. They have to maintain 334 parking places for day use motor parking at all times during construction.
And I have a feeling, but they haven't.
Yeah, let's say they've been in breach of what they call their coastal development permit. Because we have a couple things. It's not just a building permit. You have to have what in California, and you're doing any work on the coast, the California Coastal Commission oversees it, and you have to issue a permit. Well, they have a permit, and during that permit cycle, there'll be variations that they're going to do to the parking, obviously, as construction goes on. But they've been in violation since the end of 2019.
Well, if I were them, I would have pulled their permit.
Well, that's where I'm going to go to City Hall tonight. And I'm going to speak as a citizen, not as a member of the voting association. I'm just going to sit there and say, well, tomorrow I'm gonna go down to City Hall. I'm gonna come down here to City Hall and I'm gonna hand over the blueprints and everything that I've done, because I've added an addition onto my home. And it's all done, so I'm letting you know now it's all done. And that's what they're sending in. They tore out and took away all this motor parking, and they've never replaced it in where they need to do. And we just walked it this morning for 2.5 hours with the count, because it's a county project. So we have a county supervisor, her deputy general manager, or shall we say, she walked it today with the person from the Department of Real Estate from the county of Orange. And we walked it over there and just shaking our head with this is the third submittal they've done, and they still have it approved, but yet they're doing stuff over there.
Yeah, I think there's enough. They have enough boost to pull their permit.
Well, what you do is you put a stop notice or stop work on it, but that
Well,
won't happen.
because they said they would agree to terms that they would allow these amount of spots, and here we are, a few years later, not abiding by
Yeah.
that agreement.
And it's very specific. Shall maintain, not can be or maybe, or if we
Yeah.
decide to or something changes.
They have. My point is, they have violated their agreement.
Oh, they've got multiple agreements they're in violation for. Because their lease, they have to abide by what they call the Dana Point Revitalization and Harbor District Regulations, which it has its own document that was designed by the California Coastal Commission. And that's what they're in violation of. So by them being in violation of that, now they're in violation of their lease.
If they violate too many things, can they just be kicked out?
Boy, I tell you what, if that's the truth, I would be the first one helping them to escort them to the door.
It's like, hey guys, there's a door. Don't let it hit you on the way out.
I can show you something. I'll share something here with you guys. This is just
In
what
that so
occurred.
subtle terms.
Mm,
Can you see the image?
yeah.
Yeah.
What? This area here, they just repaved and they've got this stripe and they don't have a approved set of drawings to do it. I don't know where in the United States, in any state, would you be allowed to restripe your parking without having the city or county approval before you do it.
Yeah, because that's like not right. Don't look right.
And originally, where this, you can see like these brown pipes, these are the new docks here. These are actually the finger sections of it. And they're on the truck here, they're on the truck here, and they're on the truck here. And the forklift has got it here and picking them up and staging them here. They're being delivered. But they had this all laid out over here, and this was all dirt. They actually had to re-asphalt all this, but they've gone through and put this in, and yet it's like you don't have a proof set of drawings and you're putting it in.
That's what, $1 billion project? $2 million project?
Try between the water, just the water side, about 135 million.
No, just this parking lot.
The whole project, you're talking 475 million.
I was thinking just this parking lot with all the boats and the lines.
Oh, this is just temporarily in here because they're building a
Oh, okay.
parking structure that's going to house most of. Oh, here, let me see if I can go over here. Yeah, there it goes. I may not have it on this one here. I got to flip over another file. Let me see, if this disappears. Um,
You still enjoying the Air 2?
here, 3. Are you guys seeing that? My directory?
Yep.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay. Get rid of that one and bring this one up. There's the area there, and I'll show you where they're. I'm gonna zip past it here. I got a whole bunch of pictures.
That's storage.
That
last-
where this construction is there. This is where the new parking deck's gonna be. It's gonna be three levels.
Is
Do they
that
have-
is that parking just for the marina?
This is for public parking.
Okay. Hey,
they have-
thanks for coming, me guys. I got 2 ships
worry.
instead of 1. I got a twofer.
Oh,
There you
great.
go.
Very cool.
Did
Take
you
my
have to
phone
switch
to Monday.
batteries?
Nope. And I still got 60% battery life left.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
There's the truck moving out after you got unloaded.
I see almost 1 million, 2 million of boats.
Boats, there's in there. It was. We did have 2409. We're gonna lose 155.
Because they're redoing and
Yeah.
resizing the slips.
We're going just a little bit larger, and also because of the ramps being every boat size for a slip. Say you got a 20-foot slip, a 30-foot slip, 40-foot slip, 50, 60, and so on.
Yeah.
You have to have ADA access somewhere in the harbor to that size of a slip. So when you get those in there, those ramps are 80 feet long in order to have the angle that adjusting for the tide level. So somebody in a wheelchair that can get up and down. Well, the old ones, which are probably, I don't know, 40 feet.
Ancient.
There's a
Ancient.
couple of people that have sailboats, and they are handicapped, and they're disabled, and they're in a wheelchair. They go up and down that ramp, and 2 people I know, they're sailboats, and they one man sail it, and they are wheelchair bound.
That's gonna be tough.
I'll
Get in the
tell you what,
wheelchair.
you get up against these guys, both of them are ranked within the top 10 of the racing that they do for the racing in our harbor.
Getting your wheelchair from the dock onto the boat.
They'll just bring the wheelchair right onto the edge of the boat and then lift themselves up over and onto the deck and get into the cockpit.
Because sometimes you really have to hold that boat in order to keep that wheelchair close in order to do that.
Well, the lines are keeping you taut within the.
Just because the way the ocean bounces
Yeah,
the
but
boat.
you're protected in here. This is real protected. You can get a little bit of movement. The movement is not off unless we got a real high wind going or a storm going through. Otherwise, it's pretty calm in here.
So you don't get much for whitecaps.
Outside, yeah, but not inside.
Not in the harbor.
I bet Paul regularly sees whitecaps where he is.
Yeah, sometimes on the river, sometimes on the lake, and sometimes on both, and other times it's just smooth, you know?
Mhm.
Glass. Smooth.
Yep. Smooth as glass.
Does that make you wish you had a boat?
Oh, I used to always have boats when I was younger.
Do you miss having a boat?
No,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work having a boat.
As they say,
Most,
the acronym, bring on another 1,000.
Yep.
Yeah,
that too.
that's starting to sound like drones. What you talking about?
Mm.
If DJI keeps going up, then yeah, it will be like drones and boats.
Well, this is the first one that the price is reasonable. It is lower than the first one.
Go. Surf wasn't that great today, but
Yeah.
one guy caught right here. You can see him.
Not huge waves.
Nah, it wasn't, the surf wasn't that great. But there's a couple of good shots in here of the harbor, what it looks like. This is what we call the wharf area, sport fishing and everything's here. And this is the Catalina Flyer. This goes from here to Catalina Island.
So you've been on it.
Yeah, a couple times. But there's a shot overlooking the harbor. It was a pretty day out there.
You got a lot of boats.
Well, like I say, there's 2,409 slips in there, minus when they're done.
Oh, do they have a mechanic service at the marina?
Multiple.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You got on-site, mobile, and plus fixed shipyard.
Because I've heard to hire a guy to come to your boat.
They'll come to
And-
your boat and do your work that they can legally do.
I heard sometimes it's pricey.
Oh yeah, nothing's cheap on the river.
Yeah, it's like having a mobile mechanic. Those things are expensive.
And the other expensive part is if you have to have them dive to look at your props.
There you
On a
go.
big
There's a
boat.
point over here. It was a pretty calm day out there.
Yeah, I wonder how much those houses cost up on that hill. Jesus.
Oh yeah. I'm betting millions. What do you think, Steve?
What's that?
Pretty sure that hill,
The-
that house.
The houses that you just showed on top of the hill on the right side of that picture.
Oh, these here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
on the right side, yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Those.
that's Steve's
These
house
up
right there.
here?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Steve owns that house up there.
Actually, my house is just around the corner from it.
Yeah,
And 2 miles back this way.
Oh, okay.
What kind of money would a house like that go for, Steve?
Millions.
The last home that sold around the corner from here is one of the ones that you probably saw in the news where it was sliding.
Yes, I
Yeah,
saw that.
That news. It's just around if you drew a straight line like this, it would be right on that side of the point.
So what?
Those
Quarter
were
mile?
valued somewhere right around 20 to 22 million.
Because of the view or the location?
Or
Location.
both.
And
both.
the-
Yeah, it'd be view and location.
all of the above.
So
Anytime you get too close to a coastline in any state, it gets super expensive. Whether it's North Carolina, Florida, California, you start getting closer to the coast, you're going to pay more money.
Exactly.
yeah, part of North Carolina along the very coast, every so often you see a house just float off into the
Well,
ocean.
If you look at it though, it's like they say 80% of the world's population lives along coastlines. So it's obviously a very sought out properties. You know,
Well, here
versus
you go,
living in the
Andrew.
middle of the
These
United
are
States.
some other homes here. these are like triplexes here. Up here. This right here, you can't really see it in here, but this is a restaurant that sits right there. That where you see that's all glass where my cursor is going across.
You ever go there to eat?
Oh
Or is
yeah,
it-
phenomenal
yeah.
food.
What is it? Fish?
It's called the Chart House.
So fish?
Well, they do fish, seafood, all kinds of seafood, but they do beef, steak, everything.
I'm guessing pricey.
And then right here,
Yes.
you can see my cursor right here at this point. This is shut down. This is if you ever read the book 2 years
What?
before the Mass by Richard Henry Dana. This is actually where they actually would throw the hides off down here to the ships coming in. Because this was a naturally protected harbor area and the ships would come in here. The Indians and stuff would do the trading, would throw the hides off the cliff at this point.
Oh,
And the towers and the lookout tower there is still there.
So there's remnants somewhere over of the tower.
There's what? I'm sorry?
Remnants of the tower.
Well, it's not a tower, it's just a lookout, like a dome, like
Oh,
a,
okay.
more like, I should say not tower, gazebo. That would be more what it is. But the area there and
Well, it's an exclusive area altogether.
not really, it's Dana Point. You've heard of Newport Beach before?
Yep, yep.
Okay. Newport Beach is here compared to us being here. I mean, it's leaps and bounds. A home here on the bluff, you're paying that. You're going to be paying 40 million up in Newport Beach area.
For the same size home?
You go to what they call Newport Heights or Newport Cove. Actually, like I said about Coastal Commission we have here, it limits what you can do. The Irvine Company, which owned the property between the town of Laguna Beach going up there, they donated all the property on the coast side of Highway 1 and gave it to the state as a grant. So it could be used as state parks area there. And in turn, because they did that, the Coastal Commission then allowed them to build this exclusive community up on the hillside. That's where, what's his name? The basketball player that died, Kobe Bryant.
Oh, yeah.
He lived up there, in places like that.
oh, yes. So now, instead we already have this like booming growth down here in Florida. Now it's about to get worse, Steve, because now that they've gotten rid of squatter rights, all these investors are watering at the mouth now to come down here and buy homes because of it. Oh my God, it's gonna be a nightmare down here soon.
I've got to
Well,
read it. That happened here last night. Somebody went to break in up on a home up there in that area that I just talked about.
Uh-huh.
They shot him trying to come in the home. The homeowner did.
Through the door?
I don't know. I got to read the whole article. All I could say is an intruder coming in into Newport Cove. They were taken down at the not dead, but they were shot.
Because
Yeah. Last week they signed a bill getting rid of, so now squatters have no rights.
Mhm.
So now all these investors are talking about coming down to Florida. They want to buy up all the housing for rentals and stuff. Because now that you can call and say, well, this person's been here for 2 weeks, I want them out. Even if they have a utility bill, the sheriff will just come in and arrest them and take them right out. They don't have to have any court paperwork, nothing.
Mhm.
Like if they don't have an actual signed lease with the landlord or anything.
Well, yeah, that was the lies that they were going through, like that guy in New York and stuff. He went and paid the water bill, had a receipt for paying the water bill, and that's how he proved that he was supposedly leasing it there. It
Was that the guy
forged
that was giving
document.
classes on how to squat?
Yeah,
Remember that? Yeah, he's on the
How-
run now from was it the ATF or somebody's chasing him now because he did something?
Homeland's looking for.
Yeah, he got in trouble for something.
Justin, just sound Dog the Bounty Hunter or John Walsh.
Yeah.
Just said those two after him.
Well, they're doing it in Los Angeles. That's a big thing up in LA too.
So yeah, so I'm waiting to see what's gonna happen down here now.
Go ahead.
Because there's just so much growth down here as it is. Oh my god, dude, that's just gonna be insane.
Mhm.
Because I
Okay,
mean,
well, I'm heading out, so I'll see you guys.
Hey, Dominic.
Take care, Dominic. Good to see you.
I will.
Later, Dominic.
later down
night.
because it
See you,
makes
Dom.
sense if you're somebody that's gonna want to buy up houses or rental. I mean, that would be the place to go.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
because a lot
like
of
that
states are
one
about that.
lady that she was given the home that was given to her or inherited by her parents. And I know she came home, she was gone, and she came in to take over the house because her mom, I guess, had passed away. And that's where one of them went in there. Well, the one gal went and changed the lock. Well, the guy was gone. And then she got arrested by the cops.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry. I don't think squatters should have any rights
No, they don't.
because that's to me that's as bad as to me that's just pretty much breaking and entering.
Mhm.
You shouldn't be able to steal somebody's property from them like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It
then
is. That's exactly what they were doing. They're stealing it.
yeah, that's
Hey.
stupid.
Hey, Justin, my shark video is 2.3 thousand.
Oh, your clickbait video. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if it's still growing. Give it a few more days and see what it does. Keep
Yeah, it went to
posting
two-
shorts,
two
though.
point-
And you might keep
2.3.
it, if you keep posting at least one short a day, it should keep it
Well, I
going.
do 2 a day. I got 2 a day.
Okay.
Today I did 3 because I put that one I sent you, the Fluck Duck.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That duck was Velcroed on top of that Avata 2. And I flew that thing at 36 miles an
Yeah,
hour,
here.
did flips and everything, and it stayed on.
I'll show it.
Fluck Duck.
Right here. You put the duck flipping it off on top.
Yeah.
Is that on YouTube or Facebook?
I stuck it on YouTube.
YouTube, okay.
I didn't even comment on that too. There you go. Johnny commented on, so that little guy looks familiar.
Yeah.
Was he talking about you or the drone? Or the
Yeah, that's what I
That
was
was
gonna
me.
ask.
Yeah, I sent it to you, Steve.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it should be. It's still going around in circles, so I'm waiting for it to kick to you.
Oh, nice.
I'll check and make sure it got to you. I don't think it's sent. Let me make sure.
Oh,
Yeah, you got it.
sorry about that.
Mark's
Well,
got it
that's-
set up. There's Mark's setup with the computer that Tim sent him. You got
Yeah.
it
Oh,
all
really?
nice little setup, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 2 more coming out back tomorrow at noon and the next day at noon. I've got it just with doing the acro flips. And then I got one of Johnny that's standing there. It'll come out Thursday, but Johnny comes out there and he's got his hand under it like he's hitting it, and it flips.
You guys keep playing with fire out there, playing with those Avata, something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So go up to it and pretend you're gonna smack it. And Joe hits forward on the sticks.
Yeah. Well, he was standing there as I was bringing it around. He said, "Bring it by me and do a flip," and he was going to video it, right? And it's in the video coming out tomorrow morning. And as it comes around by him, I do the flip, and I missed him by about 2 feet.
Ooh.
But I knew I was gonna be all right, you know, I wasn't worried about that. I didn't know if he was gonna be all right.
That
the
is
guy.
crazy.
Yeah, we get in trouble when we get out there. Like I tell you,
Yeah.
I'm laughing at it. He was laughing at it too. We're sitting there talking, and he's taking a hyperlapse, and we're sitting there talking. Hyperlapse finished. Everything's being done, and we're still talking about. Well, we're gonna. He says, "Well, I wonder how hard it's gonna be to do the Avada back to the goggles." So he's trying to put the Avada back on the goggles because he was flying the drone with the goggles. And he says, "Well, why am I getting this picture of the part on my screen and not a blank screen like I usually get?" And I said, "Well, is it somewhere where the drone's still on or something?" I said, "Is it still?" I said, "Did it not turn off or did it freeze or something?"
Mhm.
Like that. He walks over, looks at his truck, and he looks up and there and he says, "Look up." It had been hovering for about 10
Oh,
minutes up
that's
there.
what you guys were talking about when he said he felt like a
Yeah.
dumbass earlier.
Yeah.
Okay,
He was
because in the
sitting up
chat
there-
earlier,
sitting there
he said
hovering.
I saw him in the chat earlier, and he said he looked like a dumbass. I was like, and I meant to ask him what he was talking about.
It wasn't going anywhere. It was hovering, it was safe, and it would have came right down. You know.
Oh, looks good, Rigger.
But he had turned the controller off. He had the controller turned off. But like I was telling y'all, it's not the controller anymore. When you got the version 3, I mean, the new goggles that are coming, whatever they call the 3s. When you connect the controller, it's not on a drone anymore. It goes to the goggles, and the goggles are what's doing the signal. So the goggles were still on, and that's why the drone didn't come back and land.
Oh my gosh.
I would
So
have
we
laughed
learned
my
that.
ass off.
We
if I was
learned
there.
that, you know.
Well, that was like
We'd be sitting there talking, all of a sudden the drone
Bell,
comes landing.
the
And that
video
would've
that
been
he
fun.
did about not being able to fly far enough because it was locked. It was locked in beginner mode.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing that, Joe, maybe you can explain it. Joe said that if you hit a certain button and it's going forward, it just spins around and keeps going, or what?
Yeah, it flips. It's got easy acro on it. So what you do is the joystick.
I'd be afraid of losing control.
Well, if you have it high enough in the air, getting used to it.
This button right here. This goes up, down, right or left, right? So when you're in easy acro mode and you're flying, I found out you got to keep the trigger. So you're flying, or if you're half speed, full speed, don't change your speed. And then you go up here as you're flying, and you got to be 5 feet off the ground, and you just hit that button. You just go which way you're gonna go. And the drone, if it's a right flip, it's gonna flip and keep going. If it's a left flip, it's gonna flip. The front flip is gonna flip or back flip.
Steve,
It'll
it's
do all
not
of that.
easy. Steve, it's not easy acro. It's senior acro.
Yeah, senior acro.
Oh, listen to you. You're not even flying anymore. At least he's doing it.
Yeah, I flew the Tello around the bedroom today.
Yeah, he did. While he was on screen.
See, like now he's gonna give me the gold finger. There you go.
Yeah. But and then it's got one called a 180 slide, like that. And you're flying, and here's your subject right here. And you fly up and you hit it, and when you hit it, it turns, keeps the eye on that subject, and then flies backwards.
See, but I just, flying backwards is a tough deal because if you're keeping an eye on the goggles, it's just showing you're going backwards, but you can't see behind you, right?
No, but you need to see where you were going first. Because if you got an oak tree 10 feet there, don't hit the easy acro. Then all you have to do is you're holding it like this, and you got the trigger down, right? The trigger's down. And what it's going to do when it flips around, it's going to still go back at the same speed. You just come off the trigger and it'll stop and hit the trigger again, and then it'll go forward.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but the
Now, I
trick,
have a
the
question
trick,
for you, Joe.
yeah, go ahead.
I heard that the sensors on there, like they did on the Maverick series, and then they did it on the Air 3, where the sensors are camera. I heard that inside the goggles, you can see the sensors and the camera view off the sensors on that?
Not yet.
Oh, it's coming?
Well, don't know, but it's the
Okay.
same kind of sensors.
Because supposedly the sensors are going to be able to be viewed in the goggle when you're flying.
Yeah,
So you'll be
you can
able to
do
see
that.
off to the
Yeah.
side of you.
Well, this is the deal. You can do that right now with the RC Pro and the Mavic 3. But it's so distorted, it's not, it's like a 720.
Yeah.
You know, it gives you, it's if you stuck somewhere and you're not sure, you could look at that sensor and see if you got a tree limb next to you. That's really all it's for.
Well, supposedly what I heard is you'll be able to see it all the time when you turn it on. It'll be on both, on up and down on both sides. So not only you're seeing what's in front of you, you're seeing on the sensors on the side of you and the bottom and the top, I was told.
Yeah, well, the only
ma-
sensors they have on that one is in the back.
Now
the Nevada
imagine having a drone with goggles, camera on the front, 2 on the side, 1 on the back, fills the whole field of view, and you just be able to turn your head and look wherever you want.
Yeah, that'd be good.
You know, kind of like the F-35 has, where they can just like look right through the floor.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like that type of setup. That would be freaking badass.
Now,
Oh
that
yeah,
would be nice.
400,000 for the helmet.
It's a
Yeah.
custom helmet too.
But that would be it'd be cool if they had a sensor in the back where you could see behind you, like a little window down in the corner. You know, you
Like, and it doesn't.
you can just look
It
down
doesn't
and
even
see
have to be
behind
that
you.
good of a camera, just like a little 1080p.
That way you could
Small.
look and Joe be flipping you off, Justin, as you're flying away.
Yeah.
He'd be flipping you off.
Exactly.
With Paul, that's what you fly it with right there.
Oh, okay.
You know, and
Yeah,
it's
a lot
really
smaller.
it's a lot smaller and it's a lot. I tell you, it's smooth, very smooth. I had problems when the first flight I did of it. I was trying to go underneath a bench, and I bumped the bench, and it seemed like I was going down, and it seemed like it tried to come back up. So I was saying maybe it's the sensors.
Mhm.
So then yesterday I was flying out at Fontainebleau Park, and I tried to go under something, and it did the same thing. And you'll see in the video, I stopped it, and I put in there, I think the sensors are making me go back up because maybe it's got a minimum when the sensors are on or something. But I couldn't find any setting for it. Now today, now it might, you know what? It might have been only in normal mode that it might have a limitation.
Mhm.
Because today I clicked into sports mode, and that don't make sense. I think it would be better
Well,
sports mode.
mode, it'd be like on probably just like on the other drones. Your sensors are off when you're in sport mode.
It could
Like
be.
on the
Yeah, I
Air,
didn't think of
on
that.
the Air 2, the Air 3, your sensors are off when you're in sports mode.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. I passed up a soccer ball that was on the ground, and I was like lower than the top of the soccer ball.
Wow.
I had to be
Wow.
like 7 inches off the ground. I was looking in the thing, and it was saying it was 0.8. That's what it was saying.
Mhm.
So it's about 8 inches off the ground, and I had that thing full throttle at 36 miles an hour, and I just held my hand there like this, and that sucker did not hesitate, didn't move anywhere. It
Well, you
stayed
sure
stable.
wouldn't want to. We wouldn't want to do that if the ground went up and down, would you?
Well, this was a flat field, so I didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, but the other thing was, and this was 36 miles an hour, and we were getting about a 16-mile-an-hour wind,
Wow.
and the wind was coming across, and that sucker wasn't wavering. I lifted it up
crazy.
about a foot and a half, and I lifted up about a foot and a half, and then made a bank, and that sucker come up and just completely made the bank at about a foot and a half, and then I brought it up and I brought it back down and did it again, but I didn't want to make the bank at 8 inches.
Wow.
And coming back into the wind, I was still getting 35 miles an hour.
Mhm.
You know, and that is amazing
That's
because the Avata, the first
that's-
Avata, I can't
that's
get
saying a
over
lot for
28.
that drone.
Yeah. So I was really impressed with it. But I didn't.
How do you compare the video over the previous one?
Well, Dre said he wanted to know how I get the video to look good with the original Avata. I
Movie
use an
maker.
ND filter, and I play. Yeah, right. I use the what you call it, the 16 filter on it, And then I even moved my EV a little bit to like -3. And it just seems like it gives me a sharper picture because I'm watching the outside. If it's not that bright, I'll leave the 16 on it, but then I'll drop it back to 0. And I've always got a little more definition to the picture, and that's got to be from the filter. But but this new camera, oh my God, this is the same camera that's on the Mini 4 Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a lot better. You can see the difference. Real crisp. Yeah, real crisp. Well, I haven't taken a picture with it yet, though. That's the funny part about it. We keep flying it. We keep getting to take a picture to see. You know. But I'm gonna get out there. I was planning on. I got an appointment tomorrow morning at 10 with my insurance, and I'll probably get out of there about 11. I was planning to go right down the street to the park down there and fly. But now I just found out I got my granddaughter when I get back, so I'm gonna probably have to come straight back here.
I mean, that don't surprise me. You guys forgot the O2S was in the air, so.
Yeah, we got to talking about it, and everything else.
I would have loved to have been there. That would have been funny.
Actually, and we also went live. That was the other thing. We were live, so we did that, and we I think we called Marcus, I think all of that, and then left the thing up in there.
That would have been hilarious.
I'll have to go back and watch that.
Were you guys live when you realized it was still in the air?
No, we weren't live when we realized.
Damn it.
Oh, I
That'd have
thought
been
you were
funny as
live.
shit.
I thought you were live at the time.
No, we had stopped. We were over that. But that
Oh,
was
that'd have been funny.
crazy. He says, "Look up in there." I looked up and there's the drone. I said, we get in trouble here, don't we?
Yeah, with a lot of I've only seen a couple of reviews. I've seen, well, I was watching Rodney Bell flying his, and just not a review, but watching it.
I'm gonna check that out later.
And I know I saw Aldrin Flight Path, and
Yeah,
I
I saw
saw
that
Dono, and all of them seem really impressed that they've done a lot of improvements on it. The thing that blew me away, I don't know if you've seen Aldrin Anastasio's Flight Path's post out of he's in Vegas for NAB. My lord, what they had there for DJI, they have everything that DJI Max and more. In fact, they've now coming out with a power bank, 1,000-watt power bank. They're coming out with, and it's got ports for certain drones built right onto it.
Wow!
But they've got. I would say, from what I could, your perspective learning, while he's doing the interview and he's showing you the different stuff, it looks like 5 times, 6 times the floor space there than at CES or any of the drone conventions.
Wow.
They had every drone that they make, their Osmos, their camera gear, of course, with the full boom kits and the wheels and everything, and actually built into a car. It was installed in the car to where you can actually test out the stuff for people that are doing, filmmaking for it being there. It was pretty impressive. In fact, they have a subway, a full subway car in their setup, and it was set up for doing filming, so they can show you how to demonstrate it and how they're using it for filming and everything.
Interesting.
Did you watch Alex's first flight?
Whose?
Alex Escardo.
No, I didn't.
No, I didn't. I'll have to go look at it.
That's quite good. He enjoyed it. And I must get to watch Dustin Dunhill's review as well. He's done one.
Oh my!
Alex is on Sean Hyde right now.
Who is?
I think Alex is.
Hello, Lance.
Hey, Steve. How are you doing, bud?
Doing well, thank you, sir.
I loved your Eclipse video.
Ah, thank you.
So Joe, I went out and flew the Avata at the softball game. It was the game was canceled, so they had a scrimmage,
Okay.
and so the coach said, "Hey, go ahead and send it." So I did. So I got some really cool, went around the infield, and yeah, it was. I'll have to edit it and show you.
Yeah, well, look forward. So,
Screaming
well,
in sports mode.
Rodney Bell says, Avata 2 live stream test. So did he live stream with the Avata, with the goggles?
Did he?
No,
That'd
I
be
don't think
cool.
he live streamed. He's got a couple. The one I saw. The two.
Yeah,
of them was the one-
he did a
was-
couple of them, but it was just his.
is two and two
So
and
keep in
Yeah.
the
keep in
first one it was locked
mind.
in. The first one it was locked in beginner mode, and he was talking about how to get out of that. And then he did his second one, and then the one which I haven't seen, his third one, which is supposedly up. He's using the RC control because he got the RC controller 3 too.
Right.
Keep in mind with that Wi-Fi broadcast, you could start Prism on your phone or tablet with the DJI Fly app and just share
Mhm.
and voila, you're live.
Yeah.
That's what we thought. We were talking about that today. But let me tell you what else happened to us today. Like I told you, the winds were they were running about 14, 17, up to about 24, back and forth, right? So I had picked up my launch pad because I started just launching from on top of the garbage can because the launch pad was moving around. So
Mhm.
Johnny's got a round one sitting over there, and I had something on the phone, and I wish I would have had the phone empty. I could have grabbed it quick and went to video. I'd have had a million views on this, but the wind picked up. The pad got up like a wheel and started rolling, and it rolled right past Johnny, and it's rolling down the parking lot, out in the parking lot, and Johnny's chasing it. And I'm trying to get the camera. I couldn't get the camera up fast enough.
That
Oh,
would
God.
be
And Johnny's chasing it like this, and it's just rolling. That was.
Yeah, that sounds hilarious.
He goes. Look at that son of a bitch.
Runaway drone pad, news at 11.
And I really wish I couldn't. I was in the middle of something. I couldn't change fast enough. He caught up with it fast.
Oh,
But if I could have got him running past me like that, that would have been perfect.
That would have been hilarious. And like a Keystone Cop moment.
Yeah.
That's how we were out there today. Between the geese and then they got a woman, like I said, every time we've been out there, she's pulled up in the car with her 2 dogs. I think she's stalking Johnny.
Yeah.
You never know.
Johnny told me when she pulled up, hey, there's that woman again. Did you call her or what?
Oh,
I just had some good flights. Flew 3 drones, crashed 3 drones. Yay!
Hey,
Who
that's
did?
good.
Me.
Oh, you did.
2 of them clipped, well, let's see here. One clipped a tree limb, went down inside the bushes. That was my baby hawk. It took me forever to find that freaking baby hawk in those bushes. That thing is just like, it's teeny tiny and lightweight and buried itself in the bush. Took me a while to find it. Then my domain came around a corner and clipped a palm frond. I'm kind of good at clipping those palm fronds. Even though I trimmed some of them today. And then my Avata, well, it kind of went for a tumble, but it was only about 6 inches off the ground. All that shit that I cut down today was laying out there, including some of the orange tree that I've slowly been cutting down because it's dead. And it clipped the little twig from the orange tree and kind of went for a tumble about 6 inches off the ground. So it just kind of went rolling.
wow.
It's
All right,
like,
Paul,
yeah, whatever. I guess trees, as Ken would say, trees are dicks. Even dead trees laying on the ground are dicks, apparently.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, I'll catch y'all later on that.
Okay, where are you headed?
Later, Justin.
I'm just getting off for the night.
Oh, you're just gonna get off? Oh,
See you, Justin.
say hello to Sarah for us.
All right, I'll catch y'all later.
He's going to get off.
Uh-huh.
Take care.
Actually, no, I got the baby hawk and actually I was gonna pull the video off. I got the baby hawk in the domain around the house, the same pattern that I do with the Avata. So let's just say with the domain it's a little faster.
Hmm.
I've got some white caps out there in that Puget Sound right now. It's a tad bit windy.
Really?
Hey, spring, that time of the year.
Yep. It was windy today.
We had a beautiful day today. This morning when I was down there, I got down there and started playing about 7:35, 7:40, and it was nothing. 1 mile an hour is all it was showing.
Are you back in San Diego area now?
No, I'm in Dana Point, just north of it.
Yep. But the area-ish.
Yeah, halfway between LA and San Diego. I'm about 70
Okay.
miles from downtown San Diego.
Okay.
But it was beautiful. Now the wind's up in the afternoon. We get the afternoon breeze, but it was gorgeous down there today, and that's why the surf wasn't probably one of the reasons the surf was not good.
Yeah, my daughter said it was raining on Sunday, and it was beautiful here on Sunday in Seattle.
Yeah, it was. They were predicting rain to come in on Saturday, and it was like hit and miss all over. LA got some, and then San Diego got a little bit on Sunday, and we got some on Sunday. You kind of
Apparently,
like went above us and inland. It just like bypassed us.
apparently the motion controller scares Rigger.
What's that?
I said apparently the motion controller scares rigor mortis. Look at the comments. Says it makes him nervous. I don't know why. It's basically fly by wire. This is what I keep telling everybody. You shouldn't be scared of that motion controller. It flies better.
You know, and that's why when I asked Brian, he never responded back, and I was asking because he said not Brian, but Rodney Bell, because he said he got the
sticks.
the new RC controller. I'm going, well, why have the RC controller if you can do everything with just the hand controller?
Manual mode. So you can fly acro. So you can fly it in acro.
Can't you fly acro with the handheld controller?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope. Normal and sports. You can only do acro with the sticks.
Okay.
But quite frankly, I hate Cinewhoops and acro.
And you can do easy acro with the new Avata 2, but it's on training wheels.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Just remember, when you're doing easy acro, 5 feet off the ground, and you have to keep that throttle steady to make it look good. Don't release it when you do it.
No, it's very impressive seeing some of the videos I've seen. I haven't had a chance to watch all of them. I got it actually tomorrow. I'll finally have a break while I'm working and play some of them and pick up some of your guys' latest videos you guys got out.
Well, you know, the thing about it is, Steve, is Joe hesitated. He didn't know if he wanted it, didn't want it, did want it, he did want it, did want it.
I didn't want it.
And it's only because he didn't want to be left behind in the dust by his friend. And so he called up Best Buy by him, and they had one in stock, and he went right out and picked it up.
You know, I did for the heck of it. I just looked online, and they've got them here at our Best Buy.
Yeah, my Best Buy still has them. So Rigger,
Yeah.
I the Cinewhoops are okay. Don't get me completely wrong, but the problem with the Cinewhoops, especially outdoors, any sort of wind at all, and you spend more time sort of fighting the wind than you do getting to enjoy the flight.
And that's why it's meant to be flown 15 feet or below.
Hey, Lance, you were going to call your Best Buy to see if they had them in stock, weren't you?
I was, and they still don't. Yep.
Okay.
So I bought mine from Best Buy, and it's going to be there Friday. So, but not in the stores yet. And I checked stores 20-mile radius, and no one had them.
Wow.
And Rigger, you're right. The hardest thing to do in FPV is slow. Literally, that is the hardest thing to do, FPV. It's easier to do fast than it is slow. Doing any move slow is
Yeah.
great, tremendous throttle control to do the move.
Yep.
Okay, you guys had enough yet? We can keep going.
Yeah, the sun's about down here.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got to back out myself.
It's 8 o'clock, and Lance is on his way, and Mark.
Yep.
And I think I'm
is
gonna get ready to go make me
wandering
some
around.
chicken.
Yeah, get ready to cook some dinner.
There you go. Hey, Rod, thanks for coming in, buddy. Steve,
Of course.
Mark, Lance.
Thank you, Paul.
Joe.
Yeah, see you, Paul.
We'll see you in the morning, Joe.
I'll be in tomorrow.
Bye.
Gentlemen, all be safe out there.